This is a Miami Sports Music Podcast Network production. This is the #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers, let's go.
I know the whole city rising. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter collar. Whole squad been trained to go. Fence for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. Two a time.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? What is going on? It is your boy, Stephen D. And this is the #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers. What's up, baby? Good morning to my Finlaws and my family. My family with a PH, that is. Super excited to be hanging out with y'all today. I am your host, Stephen D. You can follow me on all social media at Stephen D SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. All right, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter, everywhere, actually. Make sure you all do that. Super excited to be hanging out with y'all this morning. It is Monday, July 17th. Man, we're already in July 17th. Absolutely insane that July 17th is already here. Unbelievable. You can follow Miami Sports Music everywhere at Miami Sports Music and on Twitter at MIA Sports Music. On your way in today, make sure you hit the like button. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. Make sure y'all do it. It's a big deal, okay? On your way in, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. It's free to do that as well. You can't chat in the chat unless you're a subscriber to the channel. So make sure y'all do that. It's a big deal. It goes such a long way into helping the channel grow, and it allows us to keep growing. If you guys want to sign up to become a member, become part of the family, there are plenty of seats waiting at the table for you, and I would love to see 3 new members to the channel today. If we could get 3 new members to the channel, it would help out. And look, there are plenty of seats waiting at the table for you, and you to become part of the family. That's right, my Vin Diesel family voice. Make sure y'all do that today. Also, hey, look, if you want to help the channel grow by donating, a couple different ways you can do it. You can use the YouTube live super chat, which is the $ below the bottom of the chat, or you can use Cash App or PayPal, which is $MSM Podcast Network or MSM Podcast Network. Or you can use the QR codes that you just saw on your screen. You hit rewind button and just go ahead and do that, and those work as well. ZSM Sports, the #1 place to get your cards, jerseys, balls, and hard to find items. Make sure you call ZSM Sports today. Less is more events. Lime Tickets, the #1 place to get tickets to any event across the country for less than the competition, allowing you to have more fun. Make sure you call 202-930-3533 to get a personalized experience today for you to get access to the hottest events and or games across the country. Again, that number is 202-930-3533, and make sure you follow at Less Is More Events on Instagram and Facebook. Make sure you also follow Tailgreeter. Download the app today on your current Apple or Android devices. It's a big deal, goes a long way. And make sure you also follow them on social media at TAILGREETER. Got a lot of events coming up with Tailgreeter and Miami Sports Music. We got the 2023 Tailgreeter Tailgate Tour presented by Miami Sports Music and Tailgreeter. A lot of awesome events in Baltimore, Washington, D.C., and also Philadelphia. If you go to tailgreeter.com, you can type in Philly Finvasion, FedEx Takeover, or Baltimore Beatdown, and any one of those events will pop up with all the information. We also have access to a lot of amazing hotels at all those events, too. We have hotel sponsors, partners with those areas, the Holiday Inn Express with the Philly Finvasion. If you go to the FedEx Takeover, we're linked up with the Hampton Inn by Hilton, as well as Baltimore. We're also linked up with the Hampton Inn by Hilton in Baltimore as well. We have transportation to and from the game at all these events, so we got everything covered. All you got to do is get here, and we got access to everything. You will be taken care of to every event, every minute of your weekend is taken care of. All right. Last but certainly not least, man, we got a great show lined up for you today. We got a lot to talk about, man. Messi showed up last night in the pouring rain in South Florida. You got a little dose of what South Florida weather's all about. there in Fort Lauderdale. Unbelievable. Messi in Miami. What does that kind of look like? What is the domino effect of how that looks and how it'll go? DeAndre Hopkins signs with the Titans and spurns the Patriots. What does this mean for somebody like DeAndre Hopkins, quote unquote, taking the bag? Did he get his best offer? And what does it mean for the New England Patriots as far as not being able to bring in a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, where ultimately, DeAndre wanted to play with Ryan Tannehill over Mac Jones? That's what I took from it. So we're going to get into just a little bit of that there. And then the 4 p.m. Monday trade franchise deadline. I was about to say trade deadline. Franchise tag. If teams don't have those franchise tags expected signed by 4 p.m., then they are ineligible to participate in any team activities, but they cannot be reprimanded by the teams until they sign any tender. So because they're technically not part of the team. So what does that mean at 4 p.m.? What does that look like for the running back situation? Does that affect Dalvin Cook's situation with all the rest of, Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley? What is going to go on with them? What does that mean? Is there a domino effect there? And last but certainly not least, Tyreek Hill on his podcast, he said some stuff that's bulletin board material for some teams. He guaranteed 2,000 yards in a Super Bowl. And I want to get in with that and just kind of talk about what he's expecting and what does that mean for other teams that, they can post that up on the bulletin board as bulletin board material. And, we'll kind of get into that. All right. First things first, man, Messi in Miami. Messi showed up in the rain last night. I've been to, if you haven't been to the complex down in Fort Lauderdale, for Inter Miami, it's number one, it's kind of cool. It's a black and pink stadium, but it doesn't hold that many at all. And we're talking about somebody who's been playing in front of hundreds of thousands of fans during his games his entire career. And last night was I think it was a good thing for Inter Miami to see of how crazy it can get, because I don't think they were prepared for the weather, because that weather was insane. It looked like a hurricane last night, and fans packed in droves to the stadium to go see Messi. And then, there were reports that that security left their post because they could not handle the situation at the stadium. Now, I don't know if this is true. These are reports. This is being reported this morning, but they couldn't handle the people in some of the areas of the stadium. And so it'll be interesting to kind of see what happens there, because, that place, what does it hold? Maybe 13,000. It's good for a semi-pro soccer team, but for a team that is playing with one of the best players of the world, does this mean Inter Miami is going to be playing at Hard Rock Stadium this year? There are rumors that might be already in discussion. That'd be very interesting to see. We're talking about them going from a semi-pro stadium. They're building their own stadium, but it is not ready yet. And so they've been playing at this facility now for the last, 2 or 3 years. And so, it'll be very interesting to see what Inter Miami does, David Beckham and everybody there, because I don't think the stadium that they're currently, quote unquote, playing at is capable of holding or doing what it needs to do on a game by game basis when Messi's on the field. I just don't think it can work. And I think we saw reports of that last night, and maybe this is something where they say, okay, maybe we double or triple the security, but they're jacking up prices overnight. I think the cheapest ticket before Messi was officially signed or officially announced that he was coming to Miami, I think it was like $47. And overnight, the cheapest ticket became $400. And so, the craziness of the price ticket, of the price gouging, whatever you want to call it, was insane, and rightfully so, right? It's Messi. It's the best soccer player in the world. What happens to that? But seeing what happened last night, it was really cool to see. it honestly had, when he finally did come out and talk, it did kind of have vibes of when LeBron and Dwayne Wade went to the arena and he was not one, not two, not three. That's kind of what it felt like last night. Seeing some of the online stuff of Messi talking to the fans kind of just being there. There's a big Argentina population down there in Florida. I'm telling you right now, it is on the bucket list now to go see Messi in Miami. But the question is, where are they going to play the games? And, there were rumors and reports on social media last night that the only place that could hold Messi and Inter Miami to be able to hold these matches the correct way is Hard Rock Stadium. But how does that look for the Miami Dolphins? Do the Miami Dolphins in Hard Rock Stadium, what type of deal would they need to come up with Inter Miami to be able to hold these games there? Because international soccer, Matt, it's not, Hard Rock Stadium has already been known to hold international soccer matches. So I'd be very interested to see, A, if that's true, right? These are just rumors on social media. But B, I think there's a level of truth to it, because I don't know if that place is capable of doing what it needs to do to hold these matches with the best soccer player in the world. And I don't know if Inter Miami got a rude awakening last night with that and saying, yeah, this is something that we're going to have to do on a bigger level. So I'll be very interested to see what Inter Miami does moving forward with where they're going to hold the games at. Are they going to stay where they're at? Are they going to double security, triple security? Because there were reports last night that that security in some portions of the ticket gates left their post, and that people weren't even getting their tickets scanned and just bombarding into the stadium last night. I don't know if that's true. I just know that it's being reported on in some local news outlets and social media. So if that has any truth to it, they need to change some things, because you start seeing game days down there at that stadium, it's going to be insane. And let's say they do stay there at that stadium. What are ticket prices going to look like? It's going to be absolutely insane. Anthony says Inter Miami production was a flop last night. Horrible. Did you go there? Did anybody go there? Even Messi loves a pub sub, Steven. Yes, I saw Messi at Publix, but allegedly he hasn't had a sub there yet. Canes 1989 says, Steven, the stadium they play in now can't even hold Canes Fest. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. That stadium is designed for a semi-pro soccer team. And this is not semi-pro. This is MLS. It's the best player in the world who's used to playing in front of 80 to 100,000 fans a game. And you're going to go somewhere where they can't even hold what does that place hold? Does anybody know what that stadium hold? I think it's 13,000 or 23 tops, and there's just no way. I went to a game and they did not check parking, paid and said paid it and said pay it. Man, we should be happy. Okay, we'll get to that in a little bit, JR. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, man. So look, as far as Messi's concerned, it was awesome seeing there last night. The city of Miami's pumped. I went online last night to try to find Messi jerseys. Couldn't find anything official. Found a lot of knockoff stuff and a lot of people with fake websites coming out the woodwork for Messi MLS Inter Miami jerseys. So if you live down in Florida and you happen to see a big and tall jersey for Messi, let me know. I might tell you to get it for me, because I think I got to get one. I got to get one, right? It's going to be dope. 18,000, Sebastian Proverbs says. 18,000 seats. Meanwhile, Messi has been used to playing with over 100,000 people watching him in certain places of the world. And so he goes, He goes, the biggest stadium in Europe, Barcelona, 100,000 to Miami, 18,000. Unbelievable. Overnight. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think they have to move the games to Hard Rock Stadium. It's the only thing that makes sense. And there were people saying last night, oh, the Dolphins don't want that. The Dolphins, what are they going to do? How are they going to make that deal? First of all, the Dolphins, or Hard Rock Stadium, which is run by the Miami Dolphins organization, if I'm correct, they're used to putting on international soccer matches there, and the biggest concerts of the, they have big concert acts coming there too. They have the F1. They're used to putting on a buttload of people for a game. There's no way in the world that I think that they don't make that work. Like, they have to. They have to. Call the National Guard if Messi and Inter Miami plays in Orlando at Camping World Stadium. No doubt, right? I've heard that. I've heard that as an option too, Daniel Taylor. If Miami were to go play in Orlando at Camping World Stadium instead of Miami, Miami should riot. Absolutely riot. Because, yeah, that's not Miami. That's Central Florida, cuz. If they do that, oh my God, I heard that rumor a little bit last night on a few different places, but if that comes to any sort of fruition, they need to riot in Miami, because that would be absolutely insane. Hard Rock Stadium needs to have Inter Miami. Let them play there for 2 years till their new stadium is done, and let that be that. And I think that's how you need to do it. And Inter Miami over the next 2 or 3 years needs to try to recruit more and more players from overseas, big time players. And they'll lose money at first, but I think that overall it'll help the game of soccer and MLS grow in America. So it'll be very interesting. Make them play at Marlins Park. Nobody wants to play at a baseball stadium. No, thank you. It's sad to see no Gold Cup games at Hard Rock. I had to go to 4L, shake my head. Ross, get it together. Yeah, no Gold Cup games at Hard Rock, but there will be World Cup games there next time. So look, it's going to be cool seeing the World Cup there. It'll be crazy. Mark Angelo in the building. What's up, man? Good morning, Stephen D and Clock Block and Chatboard crew. Finn's fan for life. The Godfather's in the building. The Finn father. NorCal Doll fan. What's up, buddy? How are you? Missed you, man. How you doing? All right, let's get it off Messi, although it is great to see. If you guys ever, want to talk about that, Messi's in Miami now, and this is a Miami sports morning show. We got to talk about it a little bit. So it will be good. Cesar says, did you get my PayPal? Cesar Diaz says, I believe I did, man. I believe that I did. I'm pretty sure I did, Cesar. I'm looking right now on the phone. Yes, I did. Sure did. Appreciate it, big guy. You're the man. Man of your word. I appreciate it. All right. Now, let's get into some other news. So, DeAndre Hopkins last night or yesterday signed a 2-year, $26 million deal with the Tennessee Titans. I was very surprised seeing this last night. The deal has a base value of $12 million per year for 1 year in year one, and a chance to get up to $15 million, and a total contract could be worth up to $32 million with incentives. The alleged signing was, I think he said it was because of the personnel and the players and the opportunity to win. I call BS DeAndre Hopkins. I think you signed the deal that gave you the most amount of money. More power to you, but don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. And sir, that is what you were doing allegedly on social media last night, stating that you signed there because it had the best coaching, the best personnel, and it gave you the best chance to win of all the teams that were offering you a contract. So were all the teams that offering you contract crap? I can't believe that. Not even for a second. At minimum, I know teams that were legit inquired of your services. Sir, you took the deal that gave you the most money, and I'm not mad at it. I just don't want you lying to me. or the fans for that matter. Mike Vrabel had more career receiving touchdowns than any other players on the Titans roster before adding DeAndre Hopkins. That's sad, Daniel. That's just sad. But it's true. Here's what I think. If Tennessee is smart, I don't know what type of no trade clause that they have, but if they start the season 1-5, 1-7, or 2-5, and it looks like they're not going to do anything this year, and I got to be honest, I'm starting to feel like that's going to be the case. I could be wrong about that, right? They're playing in a division with the Colts and the Houston Texans, who both have rookie quarterbacks. But, they also play in the division with, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I just don't see it personally. I think Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars kind of have that division on lock. But as far as DeAndre is concerned, I think it's a great thing for the Titans because the Titans in week 7 or whenever the trade deadline is can go to any team and say, what do y'all want to give us? They could essentially hold DeAndre Hopkins for ransom come the trade deadline to any team that would want to go get him. And don't be surprised. It's a 2-year deal. And depending on what the trade option looks like in the contract, do not be surprised if DeAndre Hopkins gets traded year 1 to somewhere else. I don't understand why. I don't understand why Tennessee signed him because they're not doing anything this year or next year. Let's just be honest with yourselves. Number 2, he could have signed literally anywhere else on a better team, and he didn't do it. And the best part of all this is he didn't sign with the Patriots. And the Patriots allegedly had a contract on the table vying for his services. Now, was it the most money? I don't know. People are saying on, beat reporters and national pundits are saying this was the biggest contract offer he got. So you're telling me that Bill Belichick and whatever they have in New England, by the way, their top 2 receivers, former Miami Dolphins, DeAndre Hopkins and Mike Gesicki. Don't tell me about no Juju Smith-Schuster. I ain't worried about it. Their top 2 weapons, I won't say receivers, their top 2 weapons in New England are former Miami Dolphins. So let's not get crazy. You had a chance to go get DeAndre Hopkins, couldn't close the deal. And the way I look at it to be funny with you, and Daniel Taylor just said it as a joke, but there's probably truth to it. He chose Ryan Tannehill over Mac Jones. Whack Jones. Which is the funniest thing in the world to me because at the end of the day, nobody wants to go play with Whack Jones unless they're getting paid. And I'm very interested to see where the Patriots go as a franchise from here because I'm going to tell y'all right now, if it wasn't Belichick, if it was any other team or any other coach, I think they would have been fired already. I do, 100% do. I think they would have hit the reset button as a franchise to move forward. I think Robert Kraft is kind of at the mercy of Belichick, who's so close to the record that he wants to break, right? He's probably, 24 wins away, 28 wins away from Shula, somewhere in that range. He's not getting it this year. And I don't think he's getting it next year. There's no way he's winning 10-plus games the next 2 years, in my opinion. So he's 3 or 4 years away. And let's be honest, if he wasn't the decorated man that he was, what he's done since Brady's left, most franchises would have cut bait and said, "Nah, we're ready to hit the reset button and just move forward and just start all over again." And so I don't know what the Patriots do, but I honestly don't care as long as they're losing. They had 20 years of winning. Get the F out. Have fun at the basement of the AFC East. Have fun picking in the top 10 of the draft the next couple of years because that's what's going to happen. Now, I will say this. What scares the hell out of me is Caleb Williams, USC standout quarterback in a Patriots uniform next year. I would die if that was the case. Absolutely die. But that could happen. Could happen. Mark McCormick says, no, Steven, he chose the Titans over the Patriots because of money. Nothing more. The Patriots didn't want to pay D-Hop. I don't disagree with you. I believe that he chose the highest paid contract. I think it's funny that the Patriots didn't want to put the highest contract out. They need help. They need desperate help. And let's say they were in the neighborhood of a similar contract, right? I'm not saying that they were, but let's say they were. Then he chose Tannehill over Mac, which is funny because they're both scrubs, to be perfectly honest, and then some. So I don't know. And what does that say for the Titans, right? You still have Derrick Henry. The rumor is that they were going to be shopping around Derrick Henry come the trade deadline. You know, if they are 2-5, if they have a big time losing record around the trade deadline, to me, it's got to be, they got to be shopping D-Hop and Derrick Henry and getting the most that they can to hit the reset button on their franchise. That's what makes sense to me if you're the Tennessee Titans. Personally, that's what I think. Yeah, so I mean, we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting nonetheless. On a side note, yes, Evan Ingram did sign a 3-year deal with the Jaguars for $41.25 million. I saw that over the weekend as well. That told me a few things. Number one, the Miami Dolphins, it'll be very interesting to see what they do with the tight end position over the next couple of years. Number two, did Mike Gesicki get the contract that he deserved in New England? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm not saying that Gesicki's better than Ingram, but I'm saying that if we're paying tight ends $41 million on only 3-year deals, what does that number look like in 2 years when the salary cap goes up? What happens if we get a stud tight end over the next couple of years? I don't think we have one here yet, but that's not to say we won't, over the next year or two. It'll be interesting. Tyrone Hall says, Ryan and Hopkins is a perfect match. Stop hating, Steven. You think he wants to face Sauce X and Ramsey every other week? You're not wrong about that. Patriots are smart. They stick to their core philosophy and system. They are a run-first team and a defensive-driven. Let me know how that works out for them this year, Mark. I'm going to tell you how it works out for them. 4th place in the AFC East. I promise you that, my guy. Patriots will be at the bottom of the AFC East, and it won't even be close, which I'll love every second of. Yeah, man, I don't know what that means for the tight end position. Ingram got stupid money for a tight end. And I think it'll be interesting to see over the next 2 years when salary caps go up, because they're going to go up next year. They're going to go up the year after that, especially with the new YouTube deal in place. Y'all have to understand the salary cap's going to get, I mean, we're talking 40, maybe $50 million increased over the next 2 years, 3 years. So, yeah. If we're and that's for a tight end. What does that mean for positions like wide receiver? What does that mean for positions at quarterback? What does that mean for, blindside tackles in the NFL? All of those numbers are going to go up tremendously. It'll be interesting. Crazy Dolphin says 24 million guaranteed. Yep, sure is. It sure is. But we'll have to see what happens there. All right. Next thing, 4 p.m. today is the deadline for the franchise tag players to sign their tag, which means that players like Josh Jacobs or Saquon Barkley, they need to sign by 4 p.m. today. And if they don't, it will be very interesting to see what happens to see for the NFL period with some of these players. Saquon, I don't think he's going to sign. I don't think he's going to sign by 4 p.m. And again, I think that this is a domino effect for the rest of the league when it comes to especially the running back position. Saquon is basically saying he doesn't want anything less than $22 million guaranteed. And it has direct implications on the 2024 free agency. You know, I don't know what it means. These running backs with Jacobs and Saquon pretty much putting their franchises against the wall of how they do it. Look, this is kind of what the system's in place for, right? Teams are able to say, hey, look, we want to place you, but we have a group, a position group that is basically saying, no, we're being treated like crap. We want our numbers to go up. And that's what's happening. You see with Josh Jacobs, you see with Saquon Barkley. And I ultimately think over the weekend, I had a couple of conversations with some other YouTubers and some other people. That is why Dalvin Cook has not signed his contract yet. It's the only thing that makes sense to me on why Dalvin hasn't signed yet. Because Dalvin has gotten the best offer he's going to get from any team. He already knows what the best offer is on the table, whether that's from us or another franchise. But Dalvin and Dalvin's representation, Zach Killer, have to go and pretty much say, well, we don't like these numbers to begin with. So it makes sense to see what happens with Josh Jacobs and Saquon. Because maybe if their contracts get high, it will give us leverage to demand more money at that time. And we're not in a rush because we're a veteran, quote unquote. And I don't necessarily want to be there at the beginning of training camp somewhere. Now, teams might say, you weren't here at the beginning of training camp. We're going to go with the guys we got. Peace and hair grease. I don't know what that means ultimately for Dalvin. But Dalvin is playing a game of chicken, not only with the Dolphins, but the NFL period. And I stated that over the last week and a half. And as far as I'm concerned, I think that Dalvin is pretty much waiting to see the 4 p.m. deadline today. What happens with Saquon? What happens with Josh Jacobs? And so I think that's what you're going to see over the next, couple of days. If Saquon and Josh don't sign their franchise tags at 4 p.m., what does that say for Dalvin? And let's say they do sign it, and it happens to be let's say Saquon gets an unbelievable contract. I'm not saying Dalvin Cook is Saquon Barkley. I'm not saying that by any stretch of the imagination. But Dalvin is probably top 5, top 7 running back in the NFL. If you don't want to say top 5, he's 6 or 7. Easily. Right? And so when the person who's at the top of your position, their contract goes significantly up, it by rule should bring the basement up with it. The people at the end's contract should also go up, which means Dalvin's $4.5 million, let's say that's what he's being offered by the Miami Dolphins or any other team for that matter, maybe it goes up by a couple mil. So maybe now he does get that $7.5 million guaranteed, and he doesn't need the incentives. From Dalvin's point of view, it makes perfect sense why he has not signed yet. I need Dolphins fans to understand that. It's not that he's spurring the Dolphins. It's not that he is trying to do what's best for him. And he's ultimately waiting to see what happens with Saquon. Because if Saquon signs an unbelievable contract as a running back, it should help his chances of bringing up his contract $1 million or $2 million. Don't think that it won't. And teams, if the Dolphins and any team for that matter, if they're smart, maybe they play the game of chicken with Dalvin. Look, if you don't sign the offer that we have on the table you by 4 p.m. today, we're rescinding it. That's all there is to it. Who's going to win that? Dalvin is probably going to win that, just to be fair and to be honest. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's some teams that do have offers on the table for Dalvin that they said, you need to sign this by the tag deadline today, because they know at this point that Dalvin and Dalvin's representation is waiting to see what happens with Saquon and Josh Jacobs, point blank. Now, what do I think will ultimately happen? I think Saquon will get one of the biggest contracts in running back history. I think the Giants are going to pay up. Saquon is most of their offense with New York. And without Saquon, I don't think they're that great. I'm just being perfectly honest with you. So the Giants are going to pay big money for him, whatever that contract looks like. I think Josh Jacobs, because of the Saquon contract, will have a little bit more leverage with the Vegas Raiders and get a long-term deal done with Vegas, because Vegas ultimately needs to have some sort of star power in Vegas. And right now, I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo's selling you tickets. Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams are the two biggest drawers in Vegas. Right or wrong? Devontae Adams 1, Josh Jacobs 2. And then Jimmy Garoppolo 3. They want the guy who led the league in rushing yards last year. To me, that makes sense. So I think that his number will go up, and he will ultimately sign a long-term deal. I think Saquon's will be 4+ years. I think Josh Jacobs will be 2 to 3. But I think they'll both get very similar money, quote unquote, per year, how it'll all work out. And that'll be what it is. And I think Vegas will get the short end of the stick on this, because let's be perfectly honest. Go look at Josh Jacobs' numbers over the last several years. They're good, but they're not great. Last year was his best year in the league. Does he deserve the numbers that Saquon's making? Hell no. But he did lead the league last year in rushing. So he's got a little bit of leverage, and he's using it. In the moment that Saquon signs his deal, expect Dalvin to be close behind it. Whether that's with the Miami Dolphins or somewhere else, Dalvin Cook's contract will be completed with somebody closely after the Saquon contract is done. Whatever it is. That's what I expect. Now, and the last thing I'll say is, does this get done by 4 p.m.? I don't know, but I don't think Saquon cares. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think the Giants care as far as Saquon and the Giants are concerned, because they're expecting to get a deal done. Saquon. Now, here's another thing that happened over the weekend that a lot of people don't know. Le'Veon Bell went on social media this weekend and apologized to the Pittsburgh Steelers fans, quote unquote, saying, I screwed up. I never should have sat out the 2018 season. And I should have signed and stayed in Pittsburgh, and it would have furthered my career along. What did he do? He ended up sitting out a year, then going to the Jets, and his career pretty much died after that. Let's be honest. Jets, career killers. Let's hope it's the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. But you know, I think that there will be a long-term contract signed for Saquon. There will be a long-term contract signed with Josh Jacobs. That's what I believe will happen. Michael K says, if it doesn't get done by 4 p.m., franchise tag is the only signing that can be done. I don't know if that's, I'd have to look that up, Michael K. That could be true. I don't think that it is. And if it is, you're probably right. Saquon will get done in the next 5 hours. And so he's putting the limit to the fire of the Giants, and basically saying, put up or shut up. Saquon will play football this year. And Le'Veon Bell's thing on social media, I think, should scare the hell out of players like Dalvin Cook or Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley. If you are a running back and you sit out a year because of the contract that you didn't get, it will kill your career, point blank. And I'm glad that Le'Veon Bell went on social media and said that. And I hope it's a wake-up call to players like Josh Jacobs and Saquon. And maybe Dalvin. Maybe Dalvin has that as an option in his pocket. But I think it's a bad look overall. And Le'Veon Bell pretty much said it. So you're right, Michael K. From the standpoint of a deal, if that is the rule, the deal will get done in the next 5 hours because the Giants aren't going to risk alienating their star player. Josh Jacobs, maybe that doesn't get done, but it'll be interesting nonetheless. You know, Giants want to win this year, and they have a window of the next couple of years. The Giants are trying to go after it. They think that they're close. I don't think that they are personally, but they think they are. Look at the division that they're in. It's a tough division. Dallas, Philadelphia, Washington scrubs, but Philly and Dallas, you know, every year, I think there's a new division winner in the NFC East. Somebody explained to me why Dallas is in the NFC East. That makes no sense. But if you think about it, we shouldn't make sense in the AFC East either. We should be in the AFC South. But neither here or there. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. All right. Pete's Take says, yo, Steven, remember you called me out for saying players should take pay cuts to win a ring, and you said that won't happen. What did Mixon just do? So, yes, Mixon signed his deal. What was Mixon's deal? He finalized a restructured contract that will keep him in Cincinnati for this year. Mixon was due 10.1 with a 12.7 salary cap number, and the new deal frees up cash and cap for Cincinnati, right? So Mixon, he reduced his base salary to $6 million. Did he sign? Was there a signing bonus for his new deal? That'll be interesting to see. See, that contract doesn't help Dalvin. Dalvin probably did not like seeing that, nor did Saquon for that matter. But let's be honest, you know, you're going to do, and that kind of goes to the conversation of what we talked about, you know, last week with players. Are they doing what's best for them? Are they doing what's best for their position? And that goes to the people that would say, hey, look, they're going to do what's best for them. And Mixon and Cincinnati pretty much did that. They did what was best for them. And that'll be the deal. All right. All right. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. We will break news when it is broken. There's a 4 p.m. tag deadline today. I think that will be a clear indicator on what happens with the Dalvin Cook situation moving forward. It'll be interesting to see. Adam Schefter did just tweet that the opening Hard Knocks episode featuring the New York Jets will be on Tuesday, August the 8th. So the Jets are the team on Hard Knocks this year. So boo. Unfortunately, I'll watch because I like Hard Knocks, but I hate the Jets. So, but I will watch because I like Hard Knocks. Crazy Dolphin says, I'm good with our running back roster with or without Dalvin or even Leonard Fournette, who I wouldn't mind kicking the tires on fire. Yeah. Yeah, look, I think, you know, I see people in the chat here. Saquon and the Giants will get a deal done. Will it be done by 4? I don't know, but I know they'll get something done. I'm confident in that. Both sides will be happy when it's all said and done. My personal opinion about the Saquon and the Giants situation. All right. Other thing to talk about today. Tyreek Hill going on his podcast and basically saying, hey, look, 2,000 yards in a Super Bowl We're getting that. Believe that. End quote. Tyreek, let me talk to you, man. Let me talk to you for a minute. I appreciate the confidence. Okay, I do. I appreciate the confidence. Well, let me tell you something. Okay, as Dolphin fans, that quote scares the hell out of me. Okay, you are talking the talk, and I like that. I like that, but you're scaring me because you're giving other teams bulletin board material. You don't think you're giving the Jets bulletin board material? You don't think you're giving the Chiefs bulletin board material? You don't think you're giving the Eagles bulletin board material? No, every team's going to have, every team, no matter what, can get a win even if they lose, as long as they don't hold you to a certain amount of yards. Everybody in the NFL is going to do everything they can to make sure that these two things don't happen because you spoke it. Now, if we do it and you said it, I'm about that life, okay? I will be like, yep, Tyreek, you can talk all the trash you want. But let me tell you, man, 2,000 yards and a Super Bowl ring, you better make that happen, man. You better make that happen. As a Dolphins fan, as a diehard Miami Dolphins fan, you best make that happen, Tyreek Hill. Because if you don't, you are not allowed to talk trash no more. You can't do it. Can't be done. Can't be done. When I heard that this weekend, I smiled and cringed all at the same time. Because I just knew that this was going to be like, I don't want people to talk the talk, to be real. I don't want to see people talk trash like that. And if you're going to, don't do it before the season starts, when your team didn't win a playoff game and had all these injuries the year before. I don't want to see that. Now, if you are come week 4, week 5, hell, week 7 or 8, and you only have 1 or 2 losses and you're on pace for 2,000 yards, I'm good with that. I can deal with that statement then. But you are scaring the hell out of me when you make that statement on July 16th or 15th or whenever it is you said that in the second week of July. It's not that I don't believe in you, Tyreek. It's not that I don't believe in the Dolphins. I love y'all. I want to see it happen. But Bud, pal, my guy, sir, you and the Dolphins, the Dolphins, have not won a playoff game since 2001. There have only been, 2 players, maybe 1 in the history of the game to get over 2. Has there been anybody to get over 2,000 yards? Over 2K yards receiving. Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is the first player to reach 2,000 receiving yards in a season. That's it. Cooper Kupp, Tyreek. That is all. That is it. Cooper Kupp. Tyreek, you better put your money where your mouth is, because if you come up here and you don't make that come to fruition, I don't know if I can forgive you as a fan, because you put an X on all of us. People are going to be like, oh, Tyreek, you out here talking about the Dolphins going to be this and the Dolphins going to be that. Yeah. According to January 28, 2022, Cooper Kupp becomes first receiver in NFL history to reach 2,000 receiving yards. Now, he did it through the regular season and postseason combined. All right, he did it through both. He didn't do it through just the regular season. But he did get it through the playoffs. He had 2,191 yards through 19 games. That was it. and he had 1,946 yards during the regular season. So you're telling me that you're going to do something that's never been done, and mind you, and you're also going to help us win a Super Bowl, let alone a playoff game that we haven't won since 2001. I want that to happen. God, there is nothing I want more than Tyreek Hill to be correct. Okay? Nothing I want more. Tyreek, you better put your money where your mouth is and stop scaring us Dolphin fans into a frenzy, because that's what you did with that statement. And please don't say nothing else. Just shut up the rest of the preseason. I love you, man. I do. I'm glad you're on our team, but shut the hell up. Don't say nothing else, Tyreek. Let your stats do all the talking from here on out. You said it. Okay, you don't need to say it no more. If somebody asks you about it, you need to be like, talk to me on Sundays, cuz. Talk to me in the post game on Sunday, cuz. That's all you need to say. Don't say nothing else, Tyreek. Stop it. You are going to give me a heart attack, and you are going to break my heart, my aching, breaking heart. Don't do that no more. Cuz, man, Tyreek out here trying to get me all my blood pressure all up high. We'll have to see what happens. All right. Miami Sports Music, #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. It is a show that is made for the fans by the fans. Got over 100 y'all in the watching today this morning. Hit the like button. Only 37 likes. Make sure y'all do that. All right. Talked a lot this morning about a lot of different things. I discussed my thoughts and feelings on Messi in Miami, Hopkins, and signing with the Tennessee Titans, what that means for the Patriots, or spurning the Patriots. Also, don't be surprised. It's a 2-year deal. Is this something where DeAndre Hopkins, if the Tennessee Titans are losing come trade deadline, are they out there trying to get everything they can for DeAndre Hopkins and Derrick Henry this season? Not next season, this season. I could totally see that being the case. 4 p.m. franchise tag deadline. Saquon Barkley. Saquon's deal is a domino effect for the rest of the NFL, which includes Dalvin Cook. Where does that fall in with them? And then obviously, as y'all just said, Tyreek Hill this past week on a show said he's going to get 2,000 yards and a Super Bowl. We're getting that, believe that. And as you guys just heard me said, he scares the hell out of me by saying something like that, because all he's doing is putting a target on the Dolphins' back. And we don't need any more pressure. We're there. And as far as I'm concerned, Tyreek Hill just needs to shut the hell up for the rest of the season and just let him do his talking. And when somebody asks him about it, he just needs to say, talk to me in the post game of the games. And then I'll say more. As long as they're W's. As long as they come after wins and games where he has over 100 yards and a touch or 2 touches, you can do it. You can go ahead and talk. And let me tell you, if he gets halfway through the season and we have only 1 or 2 losses and he's got like 500 plus yards or 700 plus yards or 800 plus yards or 1,000 yards or 1,200 yards. I know I just went from 500 to 1,200 and it took me a while to get there. I don't know what he needs to have by halfway through the season, but let's just say it's 1,000 plus and he's got 7 or 8 touchdowns or 9 touchdowns. I'm about it. But don't do that to me, man. Don't do that. All right. I'm dropping the link in the chat. Get up here. Talk to me. Whatever you guys want to talk about, I'll bring you all on one at a time. You guys can tell me what y'all think of my thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you not? What do y'all see with the 4 p.m. deadline? Is it something where you think could be, the domino effect for the rest of the NFL when it comes to running back positions? What did you think of Tyreek Hill's comments? Are you okay with Tyreek Hill being confident and saying that and saying, let's go 2,000 yards in a Super Bowl. Maybe you don't agree with me and you're happy that Tyreek Hill said that. I'm interested to know what you guys' thoughts are as fans. The link is pinned to the top of the page. It's in the chat. Come on up. Let's talk. Let's talk. This is y'all's show. So does that mean Waddle doesn't get is not getting 1,000 yards now? That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I think. What did he have last year? 17 or 1,800 yards, and Waddle had 13. If you get over to, and by the way, that was us abandoning the run at certain points of this of the year. Now and imagine if we get Dalvin. Ain't no way in hell you're getting 2,000 yards if we get Dalvin Cook. No way. None. Not going to happen. If a player doesn't sign tag, team and player have until week 10 to come up with a fully guaranteed 1-year deal, or player will have to sit out the rest of the year unpaid. Okay, so it's not the franchise tag number. It's they come up with a 1-year fully guaranteed deal, and they can be whatever number they want it to be. That's okay. That makes sense. Appreciate it, Walk Dog. So if I had to guess, Saquon will probably be signed by 4 p.m. You know? Giants don't want to alienate him. It would be stupid for them to do that, personally. Flipside Fishing said, I could care less, to be honest. It's all hype talk in the preseason. You know, it's funny. Last year, I was okay with Tyreek talking, you know, but I felt like it was coming from a place of I'm trying to build the confidence of my team. Now I feel like it's just cockiness. And, you know, I guess you can't have one without the other, right? And maybe it was cockiness last year and I saw it a different way. We'll have to see. I have not watched the Netflix show Quarterback yet, to be perfectly honest. I've heard a lot of good things. Allie, a.k.a. Doll Freaky, was telling me it was a great show on social media this weekend. Honestly, I went to the pool most of the day Saturday with my kids and been playing MLB 22K, 22K, whatever it is, the MLB game, official MLB game on the Nintendo Switch for like 2 weeks now. That's been my game. It's X out of the 4, Steven. Let Tyreek cook, Kurt says. It's X out for that, Steven. Let Tyreek cook. I don't want Tyreek. I mean, look, it is. Steven, be happy. That means Cheetah is not getting suspended, bro. Can't promise 2,000 if you're getting suspended, right? That's true. Facts. Facts are facts. I agree. Guys, the link is pinned to the top of the page. Get up here if you guys want to talk. Would love to hear from you. It is Monday. It is Victory Monday, as it is always right here on the Clock Blockers morning show. Definitely want to hear from you. What else we got, man? I'm trying to read some of your stuff in here in the chat. Does the running back market get disrespected today? We will find out. Very exciting. I don't think it'll get disrespected. I think it'll be it'll just be interesting to kind of see what happens with it. It'll be a domino effect for the rest of the NFL. Kurt says, as Dolphin fans, we're not used to that and literally have players in place to back it up. Let them cook. You're right. We're not used to it. I'll give you that. We are not used to the last person I can remember just straight talking trash was Brandon Marshall. And that didn't work out well for us. It just didn't. His best game of his Dolphins career was the Pro Bowl, which was his last game of his Dolphins career. So, yeah, it didn't work out well for us. So, yes, I am very hesitant when a player in a Dolphins uniform talks trash. Okay? Reek is talk as a man that's not worried about a suspension, maybe a fine. It's almost go time. We are on a magical ride. We are on a magical ride last season and this season and next. I think you're right about that. I do. The running back will be what it's worth. Let the market set itself, Cruz Ruiz says. Manalo says Hill 2,000 yards, Waddle 2,000 yards, the tight end 1,000, running back 2,000, 4,000 passing. Marino comes down from the stands and throws the winning touchdown pass after signing a one-day contract. Manalo, I hope that you're wrong on some of that because that means things went really wrong. Manalo says, in a fever dream. Pete told me that, in a fever dream. Pete told you wrong, Manalo. He definitely did. CB83 says, I agree, Cruz. The market is setting itself as we speak. Well, let me ask you, CB83 and Cruz, do you guys ultimately think a deal gets done with Saquon and the Giants by 4 p.m.? I don't know. Interested to know what you think about that. JR Black says, Kurt 100. This reason our fans fear so much. I think it's fair. It's you can't blame Dolphins fans for feeling like that. Wayne D says, we want Cook. We want Cook. We want Cook. We'll have to see what happens there. It will be interesting. Guys, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Get up here. I have a Bills fan in the background. I'm just saying. I don't want to bring up a Bills fan before I bring up a Dolphins fan. This is a Dolphins morning show. Don't let these Bills fans run the show. Get up here, Dolphins fans. Let's go. Chris says, I'm watching at the ER getting chest x-rays. Hey, Chris, man, I hope you're okay, brother. I hope you're good, man. I'm going to pray for you, man. But I'm glad you're watching the show at the ER, man. I hope we're bringing you a little bit of excitement and love this morning. But, man, I hope you're okay. Keep me posted, man. Hope you're good. Anthony says Dalvin Cook is going to Dallas. He doesn't think it's that he's coming to Miami. My main concern is the tight end roster. That is questionable. It'll be interesting to see. Look, it's not my main concern. I understand what the Dolphins are looking out of the tight end position. Which is blocking. And they brought in, a couple of guys to do that. I just don't like the fact that if that's what they are planning to do, why would you draft a wide receiver with the intention of converting him to tight end when you have no real intention of utilizing the tight end as an offensive weapon, except here and there? I don't understand that. All right. Next, first person up, my man Cap for Life. Good morning, Cap.
Oh, hello. Good morning. Hello, Steven. How are you?
I am good, man. How are you, buddy?
Oh, man, I'm about to get drenched on, and I'm walking right now on the strips of Opelika Boulevard and trying to get a workout here, but the clouds do not want to, cooperate.
Is it that rain that I saw last night in Fort Lauderdale for the Inter Miami celebration? That was some crazy rain.
Yeah. Yep. Been like that all weekend, man.
It's insane there. I had somebody tell me that, I say that Maryland weather's bipolar. They're like, well, you haven't been down to Florida, have you? I was like, no, I know what I'm getting in Florida. I'm getting a hurricane at least once every few days for about 15, 20 minutes. And then and lots of flooding. And then it'll be sunshine after that.
Yeah, dude. But, we do with what we have, man. As long as we're waking up and, on a day of running back reconstruction talk, it's very, very exciting.
What do you think happens with Saquon, Cap?
Oh my goodness, man. I don't know, man. I've been going back and forth with Lewis on this, man. But it seems to me, man, Lewis has the edge so far. But we'll find out by 4:00, man. But the chances of this becoming a Le'Veon Bell situation in Vegas and in New York, it's crazy, man.
I don't think it is. And that's why I brought up, earlier in the show, I said, Le'Veon went on social media this weekend and said it was the biggest mistake of my career. If I had to go back and do it over, I would never sit out a whole year. It was dumb. It was stupid. And I have to think that guys like Josh Jacobs especially Josh Jacobs, let alone Saquon, has to look at that and say, yeah, if Le'Veon, remember Le'Veon for a good, is it fair to say 7 to 8 years was one of the best, if not the best running back in the NFL for a while? So maybe 5 years, 5 to 7 years, I would think he was probably up there as the best. And, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, he sat out that year and that was it. And so I think a deal gets done by 4 p.m. for Saquon. I could see Josh Jacobs playing on a 1-year deal if he's really adamant on whatever. I don't know what type of deal Vegas is offering him as far as long-term is concerned. And if I'm Vegas, I don't necessarily want to give Josh Jacobs a long-term deal. Josh Jacobs has had a great season last year, but he's not worth some of the best running back in the league money yet. You got to do it on a consistent basis, not just one good year and a couple of mediocre years. So I'll be honest, if I'm Vegas, I let this thing play out. I give him some sort of offer on a 2 or 3 year deal, or you either sign the franchise tag or you take this 2 or 3 year deal we're giving you, or you can wait till after 4 o'clock and we can talk about a 1-year deal if that's what you want to do. But if I'm the Giants, I do anything I can to make sure that Saquon gets a long-term deal.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. I mean, you know, we've got who so far? What's it? Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, Eckler fell into place. He wants to play nice now. Yep. Rumor Tony Pollard might want to play nice today too. So, yeah, man, I just can't believe it, man. Like
Tony Pollard already signed his tag. He already signed his tag. So
no, I don't think so. I think it's today.
No, Tony
he did today.
Signed his. No, he did that weeks ago.
What number did he sign at?
He signed the tag,
which was what 10 million.
Yeah, he already signed.
No, it can't be, bro. It can't, because if Joe Mixon took a pay cut.
So he signed his tag, but he has not reached a long-term deal. And rumors are saying he's not going to get a long-term deal, and that since he's already signed his tag, he's just going to play on the 1-year tag deal, which is what, 10.9 mil, whatever it is. So
well, I mean that's what I was thinking, more or less, man, as far as like these running backs taking 1-year deals. I mean, I would think it would suit them to take the 1-year deal because they get a new contract the year after, right?
No, it doesn't. Here's why, Cap, because teams don't want to
educate me, please.
Teams don't want to pay their players anyway, right? And we can clearly see, unless your name is Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, I think that's about it. Unless if I'm forgetting somebody, I apologize off the top of my head. But unless you're, the top 5 running backs in the league, teams are not giving you long-term deals. And it makes sense that teams don't, because on average, running backs don't have great back-to-back years. Okay? On average, as a whole. I'm not saying all of them do. On average, don't. So for the team, it makes perfect sense for Vegas. Let's use them, for example, to say, Josh Jacobs, it's great that you had this awesome year last year. You led the league in rushing yards, but do I care if I give you a long-term deal? No, because what are the odds of you doing that again? And what are the odds of you being effective in our offense again? Okay, we hope that you are. We're going to make it that you try to be, but we need to see it again before we give our 4 years, 3 years to you on a long-term deal. And most running backs are in that situation. Christian McCaffrey's another one, but he already got his deal. He already got the bag on a long-term deal. Not worried about Christian McCaffrey, but you're right, Gabriel. I did forget about CMC.
Well, I mean, that was last year, but I mean, the reason I say it benefits them to have a 1-year deal now going forward is so they can have 2 contracts in back-to-back years if that happens for them. But
so what happens? What happens after those 2 years?
That's why I asked, because I was telling you guys before, why would we want to do something long-term with Dalvin Cook when the past 4 years he's been injury prone and he needs to, approve a healthy season.
So Cap, let's talk about it. The last 10 starting running backs on NFL Super Bowl winning teams, only one of them have made over $4 million. The other two there was two of them that made over 2, and one of them made over 1. So 4 players over $1 million out of the last 10 years. The average running back salary per year, I don't know exactly, but if I had to guess, it's probably in the neighborhood of $4 million, right? Maybe even less than that, 2 or 3. I wouldn't even be surprised. So, and I'm not including the top 5. If I take away the top 5 contracts in the NFL for running backs and then say, okay, taking away the top 5 contracts in the NFL, what is the average salary for a running back for most of the running backs in the NFL? It can't be much. So if I have a good season like Josh Jacobs, it would behoove me to kind of hold out and get a long-term deal, because if I get a 4-year deal and it averages anywhere over $8 or $9 million, I don't care, especially if I can get a guaranteed contract or most of the money guaranteed, because if I play a 1-year deal on a $10.9 million and I suck this year in Vegas, what am I going to get next year with another team? $3 million, $2 million? It doesn't make sense for running backs to take 1-year deals. They want the long-term deal. It would never make sense for a running back to take a 1 year.
Yeah, but from what you're saying right now, the long-term solution is not going to be a solution because teams are not willing to give long-term.
They're not, which is why running backs are disrespected in the NFL, period. They are.
Well, I just don't understand how you can say that. And I get everybody's thought process, but every fantasy football draft, these running backs are going almost 1, 2, and 3.
You're right.
Yeah. And the production level is like off the charts with Josh Jacobs, but yet he's going to get paid less? No, that math ain't mathing.
I think running backs and running back representative agents would love you to be at the table of the NFL or some of these GMs, because to them, that's probably the argument that they're making to GMs across the league when they're in contract negotiations.
Let's look at Derrick Henry, for example. Derrick Henry, they're saying he's falling off. He's not getting the amount of rushing yards, but he had his career high in receiving yards last season.
He did.
So that's a dual threat.
100%. I don't disagree with you. I think, but you go back and look at it. The older a running back gets, the less likely they are to be effective in the league. So a running back's so a GM's going to say, I'm not giving a 29-year-old or a 31-year-old a 4-year deal. What are the odds that a 34-year-old running back come that 4th year is going to be 1,500 yards or over 1,000 yards rushing and 8 to 12 touchdowns? It's not. And to be perfectly honest, if you're not getting over 1,000 yards rushing, GMs say, well, I'll just find a running back that can. And even when they do find that running back, they might get a chance to get one long-term deal, and it's not going to be anything over 3 or 4 years. It just isn't. Not right now,
I mean, I get what you're saying, but let me ask you this, just to change the topic offhand, but since we're talking about, all the markets being set, did you see Dudley Duron's breakdown of Christian Wilkins' production as opposed from a pass rusher to a defensive tackle run stopper? Like, the comparison is like night and day how bad he is at pass rushing, but how dominant he's been in the run stopping. I mean, like, it's not even close. The 5 guys above him in the contracts don't even come close to him in run stopping. So what do you think, man?
So I didn't see Doug's breakdown. Shout out to Dudley Duron, one of my best friends. I love that guy. I didn't see that video, but I'll say this, Cap. I think the NFL, I think fans, or hell, even GMs for that matter, look around the league and they'll say, okay, well, what do I need to do to get a contract? Well, they're looking for the classy stats, what's going to give you that shock and awe of, oh, this guy's worth X amount of dollars. Well, for wide receivers, it's receiving yards and touchdowns, right? But are players looking at how many yards per catch do they get? Are they looking at how often, how many drop passes they have? How often, are they getting looked at a game or double teamed that Maybe it allows other players in your offense to get some opportunities because they're getting double team. Those 3 stats right there on wide receivers, players, fans, and GMs probably don't look at as a player being worth X amount of dollars. Now, in the defensive tackle situation, I agree. I think that, if I can get a run stopper, I mean, look, we talk about the NFL being a pass-happy league. That's truth. But if I can make any team one-dimensional, I do that in a minute, because then all I have to do is figure out how to stop this other part of their game. And it's either running or passing, right? You're either two-dimensional or one-dimensional. And if you can make a team go one-dimensional, it's a lot easier to stop them because you limit their opportunities and limit their options. So if I have a player like Christian Wilkins, who, yes, isn't getting the sacks, isn't going after the passer, first of all, I don't care, especially when I have Jalen Phillips on my team and Emmanuel Ogbah and Bradley Chubb. Those guys should be going after the passer. Those guys should be getting the stats. But if I know I'm going up against Breece Hall, or I'm going up against Michael Carter, or I'm going up against James Cook, I think that's Dalvin's brother. I don't know what Dalvin's brother's name is. I think it's James. Or I'm going up against Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson, or if I can figure out a way to stop the run, hell, even Josh Allen, if I can figure out a way to stop the run and make that team one-dimensional, I think paying a guy $20 to $22 million when his stats are clear and above the rest of the NFL in the hierarchy of the top-tier contracts of the NFL, then yes, it's what you value as a GM. It's what you value as a defensive coordinator. My thought process is Vic Fangio loves making teams one-dimensional, and Christian Wilkins allows you to do that. Excuse me. Christian Wilkins allows you to stop the run of whatever opponent you're playing against. And I love Christian Wilkins. I think he is worth the $20+ million. I don't mind paying him that. Now, I don't mind paying him that because I like what he brings to the field. I like what he brings to the locker room. I think he's an above average. I think he's an elite player at his position. And yes, he doesn't give you the pass rush, but you have other players on your team that should give you those sacks. In my opinion, I don't care if Christian Wilkins gets 5 sacks this year, but I better see Emmanuel Ogbah, Jalen Phillips, and Bradley Chubb. Those guys better get some sacks this year and and break some records, to be perfectly honest. Because having a guy like Christian Wilkins and Raekwon Davis, and Zach Seiler, it should allow your pass rushers to get opportunities. So, I don't know if that answered your questions. I think that I just want to see Christian Wilkins get paid. I want to see him in the long-term future plans for the Dolphins. And until he does get a long-term contract, you got the Dolphins, they're kind of at the mercy, and that's the future Dolphins fan in me that wants to see it. But, right now the Dolphins aren't in any rush to do it. And I understand why they're not in a rush to do it. I think that they should prioritize it. I think they should do it.
I think we need to have a good, deep, moral inventory of ourselves as a fan base and stop trying to force feed, our own narratives, because it's fun throughout the offseason, man. But once you start getting close to this and you see the numbers starting to get set, it goes to show you, man, the NFL just, they favor their positions throughout the year, man. And right now, for me, the quarterback and the rushing position, on the edge right now, are taking the bag, bro. Everybody else needs to just fall in line, and that's kind of messed up.
Well, I think that, looking around the NFL as far as fan bases, the fan base is concerned, I said this earlier, right? I said this with Tyreek Hill and his quote. I said, look, as far as I'm concerned, I want Tyreek Hill to shut the hell up. And it probably comes from a place of nothing more than fear of, I don't want my players to talk. I want them to
No, man. No. You have to embrace that, bro. Everybody in this comment section, everybody in this fan base, what have we been saying all season? This team is ready. Why would we be afraid to say it now? I like it.
I understand that point of view, and I understand that.
Unless you're feeding me propaganda.
I'm not feeding you propaganda.
No, not you. I'm saying the Dolphins.
No, I mean that. I think Dolphins players and Dolphin fans should be very confident and very excited for this upcoming year. I don't think I think that is the case. But
so, it goes hand in hand, man. I'd rather say him telling me, hey, we're going to get a Super Bowl. All right, bro, I'm going to hold you to it.
And when it doesn't, if it doesn't happen, I don't want to say when, but if it
then a lot of people need to have moral inventory put on themselves for hyping up a product that's not hype, worthy. That's just simple.
But Cap, you do realize there's 30 plus teams in the NFL. Only one of them won a Super Bowl, and no player has ever received in a regular season gotten over 2,000 yards receiving.
Hey man, I didn't say it. He did.
You're asking me to believe or be happy or excited about somebody that is hyping up something A, that's never been done, and or B, something where only one team gets to do every year. And by the way, we haven't even won a playoff game since 2001. So yes, I am nervous as hell about that statement.
Bro, you're sounding like me. You're sounding like me the past 3 years.
Nope. I don't know.
Yes, you are.
I am nervous. I don't like players.
Except for the nerve part.
I don't like players giving teams bulletin board material. And what Tyreek Hill did on his podcast is perfect bulletin board material. It does nothing but give deep. I'm telling you right now, if the Jets don't have that pinned up somewhere, Tyreek Hill saying he's going to get 2,000 yards in a Super Bowl this year, guys. Let's show Tyreek what time it is. That is perfect bulletin board material. Shut the hell up, Tyreek. Go play. Let your games, let your winning do the talking. I don't want to hear talking. I want to see the results. I want to see the wins. I've had players in the past that have talked the talk and never produced. And Dolphins fans, I have PTSD just like most Dolphin fans do. So shut the hell up and go win on the field. That's all I want to see.
You sound like me, Steven.
That's all I want to see.
There's nothing wrong with that, man.
I'm not trying to be optimistic. I'm not trying to be a hater. I love Tyreek. I love him. I think he's great for our team. I think he's great for our locker room. And I understand that having a player of his personality and his talent might come with him making statements like this. But it doesn't change the fact that I still want him to shut the hell up and just do what he's supposed to do. That's all I want him to do. That's it. Bebop says Steven is absolutely correct. Tyreek Hill has to do his job and just be Pele and keep his trap shut. Just help us get a Super Bowl trophy. Yes. Now, look, if he happens to get over 2,000 yards and win us a Super Bowl this year, Tyreek Hill can do whatever the hell he wants. He can say whatever the hell he wants. And I will never, ever question him again. Even if anything he says in the future ends up being totally wrong, he will have lifetime permission to talk all the trash he wants whenever he wants to. So, yes, it is. You better back it up. And that's where they're at. But, man, you're asking a lot. You are asking a lot. And the Dolphins for years have not been that lucky, Cap. They haven't been. And so.
Well, you know what, man? It's also a game of mental warfare. And I'd rather hear him say that and these DBs focus on the outside while we're just ramming the run down their throat. You know what I mean? Like, you can use it to that leverage also. Like, I just, I'm not going to buy into the stock of that happening, the 2,000 yards. I like the Super Bowl aspect. But, as far as mental games being played right now, the team better be on notice, bro. We can go vertical. We can go straight down your throat.
All right, I'm going to read a couple of chats here. Daniel Taylor says, I don't show my full deck of cards, Stephen D. and it's not even training camp yet. But every player gets paid to hype up the team. It's not just everyone's mouth is as big as Tyreek. It's just not everyone's mouth is as big as Tyreek's. That's probably true to a certain extent. Redhead Kane says it's like saying shut up and dribble or catch the ball. You can't say anything. Shaking my head. No, first of all, shut up and dribble came out of a political standpoint. I don't say, if you have a platform, do whatever you want to say. That's always been my motto. But as far as game is concerned, and I'm talking about pure game, I'm not talking about any political standpoints or anything like that. I'm talking about game. We saw what happened with the Lakers and LeBron this year when Memphis and what's his face? Who the hell? What was his name? Dylan Brooks. When Dylan Brooks went out in post game and said, look, man, I don't comment about nobody who hasn't dropped 40 points. He can, his old ass, he ain't nobody. He ain't this, he ain't that. What did they do next game? Lakers went out and dropped 40 on him and shut him down. In the moment Memphis season retired, Memphis said, see you later, Dylan. Peace. They sent his ass packing, okay? Do not give teams bulletin board material. Shut up, do your job, win your games. I just don't like players giving teams bulletin board material. That's all. That's it. That's all. I just don't like it. It's got too many shades of Dylan Brooks. Now, to be fair, Tyreek Hill's no Dylan Brooks, or is not Dylan Brooks. And Dylan Brooks is no Tyreek Hill. Okay. That's how I meant to say. Okay. Tyreek Hill is able to kind of talk trash. Okay, he has backed it up. He is one of the best receivers in the NFL. He is a future Hall of Famer. He is the man. But 2,000 yards in a Super Bowl? Come on, man. Like, don't scare me. Because now I'm going to believe you as a fan. I'm going to be like, yeah, man. You saw what Tyreek is. There's fans out there right now that have retweeted everything that he said and put it up all on their social media, talking all this trash. Yeah, man, my wide receivers out here talking about we going to win the Super Bowl. He going to catch the balls all over these defensive backs' heads this year. Yeah. And the moment that doesn't happen, fans are going to go after every single fan that said that used it. Okay?
Well, I mean, what's the difference? What's the difference between him doing that and everybody expecting Tua to take us to the promised land?
Tua ain't out here talking about we go to the Super Bowl this year.
I get it, but you guys are keep instilling that in all of us that he's going to do it without him even saying it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
No, first of all I have ever said personally is that he's good enough when healthy to get us there and win us one. Okay? That's all.
Now, if you ask Big Nick, Big Nick already says that we're going all the way to the promised land with Tua, with Tua emojis holding a trophy.
You're talking about perform, right?
No, I'm talking about Big Nick. You never met Big Nick?
No, I don't know who Big Nick is.
Yeah, he's pretty much the guy with the pom-poms right now in the community.
I don't know who Big Nick is, but shout out to Big Nick. Bebop says we will give Tyreek special dispensation to rant all he wants during Super Bowl versus whoever in the Super Bowl. Dude, if he makes it to a Super Bowl, he could talk, and I will shut up, and I'll be like, I was wrong. I was wrong. You were right. Okay, but look, I just. It scares me. All I'm saying is it scares me. Is that wrong to say? Okay. Walt Dog says Dylan Brooks is a clown. That's why he's in Houston. Yep. You like it. Even Braun says it. Braun is the greatest player in the history of the game. That's why LeBron can say it, Gabriel.
Stop that nonsense. Stop that nonsense now.
Okay. If Tua is going to throw over 5,000, Tyreek will have 2,000 of it. If Tua does that. Tyreek Hill is a future Hall of Famer. He can say whatever the hell he wants. He has bond money. 100.
Yeah, that's true.
And won a Super Bowl. That's fair. That's fine. But man, just because you're talented on paper to win a Super Bowl doesn't mean you will. You all right, fans, you all have to understand. You know how many things have to go right in a season to win a Super Bowl? Number one, you have to have the team on paper. Let's just be fair. You have to have the team on paper that's capable of winning the Super Bowl. Even the teams that have won the Super Bowl, that were wild card, like low wild card teams, they still had players on paper that were good enough to win a Super Bowl. So the Dolphins have that. Check. Okay? Check and check. We have that. I'm good. But you need health. You need productivity. You need luck. Oh my God, do you need luck to win a Super Bowl? You need luck on your side. When was the last time the Dolphins were lucky? Let's be honest, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mr. Hopium himself, and I'm sitting here sounding like a hater today. I hate it. I'm just trying to tell y'all what's reality. I think we're good enough to win a Super Bowl. I think we have everything right now, today, to win a Super Bowl. But
so what's the issue? What's the issue?
Because there's so many things that can go into a situation. There's so many things that have to go right to win a Super Bowl. And
we say that all the time about Tua, but you guys say don't worry about it.
I don't remember the last time the Dolphins had over just half of the things go right in a season to winning. We haven't won a playoff game. It is tough for me to go to the fans and sit here and say,
Did we just switch bodies here? What's going on?
For real, it sounded like that, right, Cap? But that's why I have said, to me, it's AFC Championship game or bust. If this team doesn't go to at least the AFC Championship game, it's a complete fail. But then there are people in the chat that are saying, hell no, they don't win a Super Bowl. It's a fail. You want the Dolphins, who have not won a playoff game since 2001, who hasn't had a quarterback, by the way, a starting quarterback, be productive and finish the season in the same year. Chad Pennington is the most healthy, productive quarterback we've had in a season. Isn't that sad? That's the last quarterback that I can think of in the last 20 years that was healthy the whole season and productive.
I don't know, man. It just sounds like me that, it's starting to get closer to the season and people are just, their sphincters are tight right now with the realization that, right now we're on everybody's chopping block and we better perform. No pun intended.
No, you're not wrong, Cap. Like, that's where you're right. We are on everybody's radar. You don't think that every team has this game circled? The Dolphins circled. Everybody's. The Eagles, the Chiefs, the Jets, even the Patriots have the Dolphins game circled. For years, we said, and I don't care how many games we win, as long as we beat the Jets, Bills, and Patriots, that's fine. That's what our highlight was for years as Dolphin fans. Just beat our division rivals. Let us be happy about those wins. There were games where we won 4 games in a season, but we beat the Jets. There were games where we won 6 games in a season, but we beat the Patriots, one of those games, who ended up going to win Super Bowls. You need everything to go perfectly right. You need 95%. I won't say everything. You need 95% of your season to go completely right. And if it doesn't, you can have, I'm going to be honest with you, Bills. The Bills have had a good enough roster to win the Super Bowl the last 3 years. They have. I'm saying it now. The Bills, the last 3 years, have had a good enough roster to win the Super Bowl. You want to know why they haven't? I can tell you part of the reason, not all of the reason, but part of the reason is they didn't get lucky enough. Tyreek Hill beat them on a last-second play with the Chiefs, and the Chiefs ended up going all the way and winning the Super Bowl that year. But the Bills, had they had the ball last, they would have won. It was whoever had the ball last in that game. That's all that was. It was luck. You need partial luck to win a Super Bowl. The Dolphins have a good enough team. Yes, I agree. The Dolphins have great players. Yes, I agree. Tua can be great when healthy. Yes, I agree. Tyreek Hill is good enough to get 2,000 yards in a season. I agree. But to sit here and guarantee it, bud, you're setting up a lot of fans for disappointment. And I'm not saying that it's going to come to fruition. Like, they're going to be disappointed. It can happen. He can get over 2,000 yards. The Dolphins can win the Super Bowl this year. But man, him saying it just makes me nervous. That's all. Because I know what it takes for a team to be a Super Bowl winner. And I know how hard it is. Hence why we haven't won one since 1973. We have not won a Super Bowl since 1973. I wasn't even born yet. So do I like the hopium? Do I like the optimism? There's a side of me that does. But there's also a side of me that says, Tyreek, here's my other problem with it, Cap, and I'm just being perfectly transparent and honest with you.
No, please do.
I'm so excited that he said that I'm scared of getting my heart ripped apart if it doesn't happen. I am excited that he has the confidence to feel like that. But if it doesn't come to fruition, Cap, I don't know if I'll ever be more depressed as a Dolphins fan. Ever. And that includes the season where we won one game. This will hurt more if we don't win a Super Bowl this year than our 1-15 season. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, but how good would it feel if he does work out, bro?
If it does, it will be euphoria. It will be an experience that I have never felt. It will be a feeling that I have never felt as a Miami Dolphins fan. I pray to the football gods. I pray to Jesus himself as a Christian that I am. But let me tell you, it better come to fruition. Because if it doesn't, I'm going to be heartbroken. I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be depressed.
It just got real, man. It just got real. It's too late to turn back now. You hear me? All of you.
It is.
All of you. Don't get all nervous and start like hiding, bro. No. The complete opposite. We're in too deep.
Man, that's sports, Steven. Us as fans, his to understand that. Just get behind him and say, yeah, NFL, it's nothing you can do to stop him. And they focus all their attention on Reek Waddle gets 2,000. LOL. Steven, you've already set the bar around the conference title game, so you should not be so you should not be drinking the Kool-Aid anyway. RGT. Bucket of Dolphins this year. What? Oh my God. Oh, y'all are.
Hey, man. Well, yeah, man. I just wanted to, kick some time with you, man, and just, embrace it, y'all. Embrace it. Don't be nervous. It's coming soon, man. And
Hey, you know what's funny though, Cap? Let's say we start out the season 7-0 or 8-0 or 7-1 or 8-1. I will be the person that's drinking the Kool-Aid. Let him have at week 9 over 1,000 yards. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be one of the ones up in here talking about, let's go, Tyreek, come on, Miami. I'm gonna go crazy if that.
No. I'm not gonna go that far. I'm gonna wait till week 17 because this happened last season, and the same thing happened after week 8.
I understand, but that's part of my.
No. Once you get me past the first round, I'll be ecstatic. But I'm not falling for the banana no more, bro. I am happy. Don't get me wrong, but I'm also realistic, like you said.
Hey, I just wanted to happen. Cap, I got 2 Buffalo Bills fans in the back room. Should I let
hell no, I'm out of here, man. Y'all be good.
Should I let them on? He didn't even answer. All right, I will say, because we're not doing a panel, you guys can donate to the channel, help me kick them off if you want to. But I'm going to give them a second. But if they say anything disrespectful, I'm kicking them off. You're getting out of here. Manalo says I'm out if you bring them on. Oh, Newbury said Cash App already. I can't bring you on. He already got you off. $10, 10 minutes. $10. I swear he already did. There we go. $10. Love it. Well, I can't bring on no Bills fan. Shout out to Newbury. Shout out to Kurt. Before I even did it, said, nah, I ain't doing this, dog. Don't let him on. All right. 12:03. Nobody else is back here. Get up here. Need my Dolphins. Where my Dolphins fans at? Get up here. Let's talk. You agree? Do you disagree with me? Are you mad that I'm optimistic or I'm pessimistic? I don't know. Whatever adjective you want to use. But nah, the real tear of joy will be if we win the AFC Championship, man. Just know we got 2 weeks of madness because our Fins are in the Super Bowl. No doubt about that. I agree. Canes 1989. Good morning, man. What's up?
Hey, good morning, Steven. How are you?
I'm good, man. Sitting here chilling.
Same here. Yeah, man. I just came up here to say what's up and talk a little Dolphins with you.
Go ahead, man. What do you want to talk about?
I'm just wondering, where is the logic of winning a Super Bowl when we haven't won a playoff game in over 20 years?
I think the logic comes from the roster that's currently in hand on paper, right?
Right.
We haven't had a team on paper like this maybe ever in the history of our franchise, with the exception of maybe the early 70 teams and maybe the early 80 teams. I think that the Dolphins fan base is so desperate for a win in the playoffs.
Sure enough.
And a winner on the field in general, because we deserve it, right? Like, we 100% deserve it. It's fans feel like, okay, I feel like there's steps to this, right? They're like every year there's a team that comes out of the woodwork, Canes 1989, that surprises everybody, right? And so there's going to be a team in the AFC and a team in the NFC this year that we're going to be like, holy cow, where the hell did they come from? Right. And, we go back and look at the last 20 Super Bowl winners. Most of the teams, not all of them, but most of them are teams that are consistently in the playoffs and consistently winning throughout the years.
Yeah, year after year after year, yeah.
Correct. And, for me, I would say that the Dolphins, 2 Bills fans equals $20, correct? $10 per person. The other guy left, so right now it's just you in the back, Michael K. Just so you know. And I'm pretty sure Kurt will donate another 10 if the second one comes back. I'm not about that.
Wow.
But what I will say is fans just want to win, and I want to win, right? I'm a fan. I want to win. I understand why fans are saying Super Bowl or bust. I think there's levels to this, and
I want to win as well. It's just
before we go somewhere with it.
I want to take it step by step and not rush the process.
I understand that, but I think, like, let's be honest. If the Dolphins just win a playoff game this year,
right,
we're better than that on paper. We are.
Yeah, they are. It's just we got to prove it.
I agree, but look. I here's the thing. Yesterday, the AFC wildcard game was on the NFL channel. The Dolphins and Bills AFC wildcard game. And at halftime, we were tied up.
Yeah.
Into halftime. And I watched all of the second quarter. And I looked at that game and I said, man, we were good enough to win this game. And there were multiple plays in the second quarter where I'm watching the game and I'm like, man, there was a wide open receiver there, or man, there was a wide open player there, or man, if he had to hit that guy, that would have been 7 points. There were multiple plays I saw in the second quarter.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
And I didn't even watch the third and the fourth. I ended up going to the pool with my kids. But, you know, I saw this and I'm saying to myself, if we had Tua in that game healthy, there's a good chance we would have won that game. And we ended up only losing by 3 points. And yes, we didn't win. And a win is a win and a loss is a loss. But I do look at that and say, man, we had a third-string quarterback playing against one of the best teams in the AFC East, and we almost won. And we probably would have won had we had our starting personnel in that game. I believe that in my heart of hearts, that we would have. So I know we didn't win a playoff game, but to me, just winning a playoff game this year is not good enough.
No, it's not.
So to your point of there's levels to this, there's process to this. I think we need to understand that it's not just winning a playoff game. It's we need to win. We need to go to the AFC Championship.
Yeah, ultimate goal, yeah.
Minimum, because we're good enough to win. We're already a good enough team. We saw last year that we could have won a playoff game, and we should have, right? And I just said that there's luck. Sometimes it's just luck, right? When two teams are as competitive. So we know.
I mean, look at the Heat, man.
Understand 100%, right?
Mm-hmm.
We go back and look at the games last year. The Dolphins won the first game against Buffalo, lost the second game, but easily could have won it, and lost the third game and should have won it, right? So I think we're better than Buffalo today already. I already think we're better than the Bills. And I think we're going to prove that this year, 100%. I'm on record as saying that the Dolphins are better than the Bills, and we'll finish ahead of the Bills. Are we better than the Jets? I like to think that we are, but I have to admit Aaron Rodgers makes me nervous a little bit because I don't know what Aaron Rodgers I'm going to get. And there's the side of me that says, okay, you know, he had a bad year last year, but there was an injury, right? But you know, I don't know what type of Aaron Rodgers I'm going to get with the Jets. There's a side of me that is, I guess, the hater side of me because I hate the Jets. But am I truly scared of Randall Cobb? Am I truly scared of Alex Lazard? Am I truly scared of Nathaniel Hackett calling plays?
I mean, they are.
There's a side of me that doesn't scare me. Now, I'll give respect where respect is due. Garrett Wilson seems like he's going to be a good wide receiver. He won Offensive Player, Rookie of the Year. Breece Hall would have won Rookie of the Year had he had not gotten hurt, and Michael Carter ended up doing it. So they have a couple of strong weapons on the offensive side. And
they are respectable. I'll give you that.
They're and look, Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, okay, when he's healthy. The other thing to this is their defense is one of the best. And I can admit that today. So defense wins championships. I can respect the Jets. But the same thing that I do from a standpoint of, you know, there's levels to this and there's steps to this. The Jets have skipped a lot of these steps in order to become all of a sudden a competitor this year. And sometimes, and I'm not saying that you can't just throw a team together and win a Super Bowl. We saw that with Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They threw a team together. They won a Super Bowl without having to go through the steps. But is Aaron Rodgers and the Jets in that same predicament as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were?
I doubt it.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either. But that's yet to be seen. In my opinion, the Dolphins in the AFC East are the best team, most prime team to win a Super Bowl and be Super Bowl contenders today. And I'm not just saying that because of I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm saying that because I look at everything and how the steps are. And I know that this is only our second year with McDaniel, but this is Tua's third year. Tua's got to step up and be helped. I just think that I think that we have to. I'll respect the Jets right now. I want to see what ends up happening, but I think that it's going to be interesting. Jets have homegrown 98% of their roster. NFL has said. I don't think that they've. I mean, 98%. Yeah, their defense is pretty much homegrown. I'll give you that.
They
but their offense, with the exception, like it's just tough for me to be nervous about it. I'm sorry.
Well, they did hit on one of their draft years, and we didn't.
They have drafted better the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I'll admit to that.
It's just the question is, can we execute?
All right. K's 1989. I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna let you go, buddy. Be good.
All right, man. Nice talking to you. Stay safe and take care.
Same here, man. All right. Mark K says, Steven, sadly, I don't think you are able to do that as you are as a casual fan and you have limited detailed football knowledge. You know big names only, and you are unable to understand personnel and scheme. Okay, Mark. You are entitled to your opinion. What I will tell you, Mark, is I think that your team is on the downcline of their regime. I don't think that I don't think that the Buffalo Bills scared me any one way, bit or form. We're a better team than we were last year and a more healthy team. And we beat you once with the team that we had the first time we played you. And we should have beat you the second time in December, but there were some defensive schemes, which we've corrected now. And the third time we played you, we had a third string quarterback who flat out missed plays. We were good enough to beat you then. So I'm not scared of the Bills. I'm not scared of the Bills in any way, shape, or form, my guy. I'm just not. Just not. My man Dolphin Winters is in the building. What's up?
What's up, family? How you doing today, brother? What's good with you?
Man. Philly's in the building. What's good?
Absolutely. Yo, man, listen, man. Cloudy, humid, the norm. But hey, listen, it's a good day to be above ground, as always.
As always, man. What do you want to talk about this morning, Dolphin?
Man, listen, I agree mostly with everything you said. I've been listening to what a lot of people have been saying. I agree with you, Tyreek. It's the second or third week in July. Why are you making promises like that? Like that worries me too. And you're right. That's bulletin board material that we really don't need going into this season. I mean, I discussed football with Eagle fans here, Cowboy fans, Steeler fans, just in travel. And I told them our first 4 games could be disastrous. I mean, literally, if you look at our schedule, this is a scary schedule coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. First 4 games.
You're talking about the second hardest schedule in the NFL.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you think about it.
Let me just interrupt. If we win, which I expect to,
mm-hmm.
we would have earned it. Last couple of years, the Dolphins fans have been saying, oh, we went on these winning streaks against these mediocre teams. There's none of that BS this year.
No.
We go on some winning streaks this year. We earn them winning streaks straight up. Not even close.
Right. I mean, right off the gate, you got the first 4 games. The first 4 games against AFC division. Two AFC divisions and 2 AFC, one AFC division opponent and 4 AFC opponents as well. Yeah. I mean, they can make or break our playoff picture right there.
First 4 weeks of the year, 100% could. I agree with
that. So, I mean, the question marks for me, Stephen D, is going to be Fangio's defense. How's the defense going to look? What the personnel is going to look like? The obvious question, what is Tua going to look like? I mean, we all have those questions, ladies and gentlemen. We all do. You know what I mean? But if I'm Tyreek, I mean, I love your confidence, but you're right. It's a little cocky to me to say that you're going to get 2,000 yards.
It's not even cocky. It's just shut up and don't say nothing, man. Don't give these teams further ammunition. They already have us circled on their calendar. Now you giving them more of a reason to be more amped up about playing us? Come on, man.
Listen, it was circulating all over Twitter, all over Instagram already when he made that statement. So It was like, I seen it. I was like, okay.
You know,
Like,
100%, man. Look, it's the Dolphins, in my opinion, looking at the first four, you got the Chargers opening up on the West Coast. You go to New England, you play that Sunday night football against New England. Then you have Denver, and then you have the Bills, right? To be perfectly honest, we should win all four of those games.
true.
And the closest game should probably be LA and then Buffalo, right?
Yeah, but
we should take care of business against the Patriots, and we should take care of business against Denver. Look, in my opinion, this year, we talk about trap games all the time.
Right.
There shouldn't be no trap games in that first 4 weeks. And we should handle our business by winning games, scoring more than, in my opinion, we should be able to score more than 28 points against all four of those teams.
Absolutely. I fully agree with you. I'm actually going to be at the game the second week at Gillette. So I'm traveling up there for that game. And I'll say this. Our problems with primetime games. We have a problem with primetime games. So I'm hoping that we can sit there and be on the national and global stature and limelight, and sit there and actually show show the world that the Miami Dolphins is a primetime team as well, because our primetime record is not good, Stephen D.
No, it's not. But this isn't your dad's Dolphins team.
No, it's not.
This isn't our Dolphins teams over the last 20 years. This is a new and improved Dolphins team, and I'd like to think that we're going to be changing some things and going into New England week 2 with Tom Brady retiring his number. I think there that night and Sunday night. I don't know if he is or he's not. Somebody said it's week 1 now, but either way, it's Sunday night. I like Sunday night's my favorite game of the week. It's not Monday, it's Sunday night. I love the Sunday night games.
Yeah.
And because it's like, okay, I watched all the games. I get to I'm not going to decompress because I'm excited. I'm excited for a couple of reasons. Number one, I get to watch the NFL Red Zone channel for the first two games of the day, and then I get to sit in and watch Football Night in America, and then I get to watch the Dolphins play the Patriots on prime time. And so I'm about it on week 2. And then I'll be traveling that following week in week 3 to Miami for the home opener against Denver. And I'd love to be sitting at 2-0, having just routed the Patriots on national television and taking care of Justin Herbert and the Chargers over on the West Coast. It would be great starting out the season 2-0 in our home opener against Denver, against Sean Payton, and then us just straight up murking them in our home opener because they can't handle the heat. And that 1 o'clock game, I'm sure it's going to be ridiculous heat, and I don't see them doing anything. I like the fact that we start 3 of the first 4 games on the road. I'm good with that. Do I wish that we had that Sunday 1 o'clock hot weather in September? Yeah, I do, but I also like that in the later part of the year, I'm not going to too many cold weather places either. So there's positives in that. There's positives in that. So let me ask you before you get out of here. What do you think about Dalvin? Do you think Dalvin ends up signing here, or what's your thought on Dalvin?
I want to say yes. I do, because eventually he's going to look around the market. He's going to look around teams. Teams are not going to give him the offers that Miami probably has on the table right now. I would like for him to sit here, come to Miami, Steven, but I'm going to be honest with you. If he doesn't come here, it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. I actually am confident with our running back threat that we have right now. I like what we have right now. If you bring Dalvin Cook here, that's the icing on the cake. I really think the cake is already baked. You put Dalvin Cook on that's really the icing on the cake. Because I think you got a unit. I think you got a nice running back core that can handle the load for this season.
I would agree with you. I'll be perfectly honest. If we don't get him, I still want the Dolphins to go out and get Leonard Fournette.
Okay, I'm with that.
I really like Leonard Fournette. I hope that the Dolphins are looking his way. I think it would be great. But I mean, look, if we get Dalvin, I'll be happy about that too. So either way, if we get Dalvin, boy, it's going to be Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Dalvin Cook, Tua Tagovailoa. Come on, my guy.
I mean,
Excites you alone, let alone the rest of what we got on the team.
then the next problem would be how much football is there to go around? That'll be the problem. That's a good problem to have, though.
I agree with that. I
You know
100%
what I mean?
agree with that.
Before I sign off, Steven, I just wanted to thank you. Thank you for your show, man. You already know I've been a member for about 1 year and 9 months for the MSM and Clock Blockers. I wanted to sit there and show support always to you guys. Always support everybody. Support all the podcasts, Dolphin podcasts. Tonight, WCFL Dolphins Talk on YouTube. Me, myself, Paul Ferguson, and the crew will be interviewing OJ McDuffie at 8 o'clock tonight. So please tune in to us also. And Stephen D, man, keep doing your thing, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Anytime, man. I'm I always love the new people that are coming into the world of YouTube and stuff, but you guys do your thing, and I support everybody, man. I support everybody and what they do. And so
well, look, I give credit to you, man. I give credit to you because you were the first one, and I still watch you to this day. So I mean, you know what I mean? Brother, have a good day, and everybody, peace, love, fins up, y'all.
Fins up, Dolphin Winters. Be good. All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. All right. I know you guys said some of you were going to change the channel if I bring any of these two guys up, but they're the only two in the back, and they have been waiting the entire time. Now, I did have somebody that donated $10 earlier to time one of them out, but they're both in the back now. So if no other Dolphins fans got up here, I don't have any choice but to bring one of these guys up here to be able to talk. Okay. Mycelium says we have no cold weather teams playing in Miami. Mycelium, his $2 donation. Thank you for the $2 donation. Playing in Miami. No, but you know, I think our only cold weather game this year is going to be, Baltimore will be a cold weather game. Tennessee, no. Washington's December 3rd. That could be a cold weather game. Maybe. Thanksgiving at the Jets. That's not going to be snow. So we have no cold weather games, really. Baltimore's going to be the closest one. Going to be the closest one. All right. I gave you all a chance to get up here, and I want you all to come up. If y'all are disrespectful, I'm throwing you all off. Michael K., you're the first. What's up, man?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on the franchise tag and how it works.
Okay, I'm all ear.
All right, so if Jacobs or Barkley don't sign the tag,
yep,
then 2024 there was unrestricted free agents.
Correct.
If they do sign the tag, it's for $10,091,000 for 17 games.
If
that's based on
after 4 p.m.
After 4 p.m., it's a 1-year non-negotiable deal.
So their only option is to sign the tag or sit out after 4 p.m.
Right, if they want to become a unrestricted free agent in 2024. So they can sign up until week 10, but that's a prorated contract for how many games they have left.
Okay. But you're
right.
But,
So
go ahead. But you're saying the standpoint if after 4 p.m. they can't negotiate a 1-year deal. It has to be the franchise tag 1-year deal.
It's the franchise tag 1-year deal, which is an average of the 5 top running back position salaries for the last 5 years. So that being said, if they sign the tag, they can be tagged again next year because they're still under contract. And the second year franchise tag is 120% or 20% more than what they had the previous season. But we know that number is going to go down because we have this year's salary goes into that. So that's going to take the average salary for running backs down from the $10,091,000. So Walt Dog's sitting there saying they can renegotiate a 1-year deal. It's non-negotiable.
All right. So here's Cody Benjamin of CBS Sports. CBS Sports released this 3 days ago. The deadline is July 17th at 4 p.m. What is the deadline? Teams can retain top free agents by applying the tag, a 1-year fully guaranteed contract, but players who receive the tag are not permitted to sign new multi-year deals with their team after the deadline. That means if they do not agree to a long-term contract by 4 p.m., they can only play the 2023 season under the 1-year tag. What can players do after the deadline? If a player who received the tag has not yet reached a new long-term deal with his team by the deadline, odds are the two sides are not close in negotiations, and players are not required to sign their tag. So one option is to hold out. If they refuse to sign, they are technically not under contract and therefore cannot be fined for skipping practice or games, though they'd eventually forfeit the tag's guaranteed salary. The only other option is to sign the tag and play the season under the 1-year deal. There are 4 players who received the franchise tag. The following players received the franchise tag but have yet to reach a long-term deal: Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard, and at the time, Evan Ingram. And Tony Pollard, when he wrote this, was the only person to sign his tag.
Right. So now Pollard can renegotiate a long-term deal throughout the season
till 4 p.m.
No. After, because he's already locked in for this year. So it will be a renegotiation for the next 3 years, 24 to 27, or whatever, 2, 3, 4 years, whatever he wants.
So at minimum, he's playing on 10 years, 10.9 mil.
1 year, 10. 1 year, 10 point.
I'm sorry,
$10 million.
I think it's
Yes.
10. I think it's 10.9. I'm correct. Yeah,
No,
10,
it's
no, it's 10.09. 10.0.
It's like 10.1.
Yeah. All right. Fine.
It's 9,000 or 90,000 short of 10.1.
And then
So you can't renegotiate now. See, now Pollard, because he signed his tag, he has all year to work out a deal because he's under contract.
Okay. So in the middle, so in training camp, if he sign, he can get a 4-year deal worth X amount of dollars, and they can still sign it.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. But now he doesn't have to, and if he doesn't sign or doesn't get a long-term contract, Dallas can sit there and put a tag on him for a second consecutive year.
Yes, 2 years a player can be tagged in a row, but not after that.
Right. Then he's automatically an unrestricted free agent.
Correct.
So and that was the whole thing. Walt Dog was sitting there saying you can renegotiate. You can. It's non-negotiable. That's what the franchise tag is.
All right.
And that's why teams don't use the transition tag. Well, they did. They used Baltimore used the transition tag with Jackson because they were willing to roll the dice that somebody was either going to pay him or he was going to come back for less.
It will be interesting to see what happens there. I still think it's a domino effect. It's 12:30 now, so 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30. We got 4 hours. We got 4 hours till the trade, 3.5 hours till the trade deadline passes. So,
right, and it ain't going to matter. What you were saying earlier is if Jacob signs, then Barkley's going to say those deals are already done. One's not waiting for the other one, man.
I'll be honest with you. It makes more sense for me that the Giants and Saquon get done by 4. It doesn't make sense for the Raiders to sign Josh Jacobs to a long-term deal. It just doesn't. It does not affect them. They're not.
I don't know. I don't follow them closely enough.
Well, they're not going to win this year, and he's only had one great season and a couple of okay seasons, and the rest were mediocre. So, to me, there's no benefit for Vegas to sign Jacobs to a long-term deal. And Vegas has all the power in the Josh Jacobs deal. But in the Giants and Saquon deal, both sides want long-term deals. They both do.
Well, you got to look at it. You got to look at it at the player standpoint and the agents too. If they know that the value of a running back is going down, and they know that they're not going to get what they're expected to get or what they want to get, they will be willing to take what they can get though, and they're going to roll the dice. If they can handle 3 years at say $20 million, or 21, we'll do easy math at $7 million a year.
Well, the rumor is that Saquon's looking for 22 mil a year, I think, is what he's looking for. I don't think
He'll never get 22 million a year. There's
I don't think
receivers
he's
that
gonna
don't make
get
that.
but I have heard that that's what the rumor is for that.
See, now you could bring up Mark, because Mark would know what the franchise tag for next year would be, because all the contracts are signed, and he's Rain Man enough to figure out what the franchise tag for next year will be.
Yep, I agree. All right,
You
man.
know, so then they would know. So I'll let you bring him up because I want to listen to what he has to say.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you, Mike.
All right, thank you,
Mark. Good morning.
Hey, Stephen, and I want to thank Michael for that great feedback that he had on the current status of the franchise tag. Yeah, the franchise tag is going to be driven by the end, basically by the end of today for next year, because what'll happen is you've got the Barkley issue where the Giants choose, to sign him today, and with the Raiders with Jacobs. Those numbers that they finally come up with, if Barkley signs a new deal, that's going to build into the average to the average of the top 5 players. So that's a determinable number for next year. It's also going to identify the value of Dalvin Cook, to be very honest with you, because if the Raiders just move on and they don't let him go, but they don't give him a franchise, don't give him a long-term extension, then his money's going to come in at $10 million plus. And I think the Giants and Barkley are going to sign on a long-term deal where he averages out about $16 million a year, probably on a 4-year deal because of injury history and running back wear and tear. So that's going to kind of give you a number next year, whatever the top 5 running backs are going to be in the league. And you're talking Henry, you're talking McCaffrey, we're talking Barkley. So I'm saying I'm going to make a guess that you're probably going to have a franchise tag at about $12.5 million next year for a running back. And as Michael correctly stated, then it goes up that percentile after the fact. So the key thing I think from the Miami standpoint is that's going to lock in Cook's value. It's going to probably set him up at probably about $7.5 million per year, which is a fair and equitable salary for the quality of player that he is. Now, is Chris Greer going to make a move on that? You don't know. There are other holes that have to be filled, and there's guys that are out there. I like your idea for Fournette. I think that's an outstanding idea for what the Dolphins actually need in their backup, because it's a piece that they don't have. And Akeem Hicks for 20 plays a game is an outstanding addition right now to the defensive tackle room. I've seen positive videos.
I'll be honest with you. I want Ndamukong Suh halfway through the year. Ndamukong's going to sign with somebody halfway through the year, and I hope it's
Suh's a great pickup. Suh may be a better pickup right now than Hicks, to be honest with you.
Well, I that's why I don't want Hicks now. Like for me, for the Dolphins, go be a winning team. Be there at the come week 10 or week 8 or whatever it is, whatever the limit. Like I want to say that Ndamukong didn't sign with Philly till like week 10 or week 11 last year. So
yeah, he's gonna have his positions to go to. And to be honest with you, you look at other prime contenders. Is Cincinnati going to go ahead and take him? No, because they have B.J. Hill and D.J. Reader. Yep. Is Kansas City going to take him? That's a possibility. In case he can go in that direction.
Tony, here's the teams I think Ndamukong Suh will sign with at the middle of the year. It's either going to be Philly again, because he already has the relationship with them, right? Kansas City, us, because him and Stephen Ross are close, so we're on that list. And then, there could be 1 or 2 other outliers that if they're there and he thinks that they have a shot, then that's going to be the case. But I think there's probably 3 teams, and that's Kansas City, Philadelphia, and Miami are the 3 teams I think Ndamukong Suh will consider.
Yeah, and I'll just go from a homer perspective. I don't see him coming to Buffalo if Tim Settle or Jordan Phillips plays anywhere near what the hope that they play is. And again, that's my hopium coming out. Those guys come up and do something. Settle last year wasn't worth the paper the money's printed on that they gave him, and Phillips is always hurt. So maybe Buffalo's a possibility, but that depends on where they are in the standings. But to be honest with you, that team, they have tough games at the Jets. They have a tough game with Miami. They have a potentially tough game with Jacksonville. So where and the rest of their games are relatively soft out, through the first 9 games, and then they play Cincinnati, and then they host the Broncos, who they should beat at home. So they're a possibility. Just depends on what players do. And let's not forget the Jets. The Jets might be a possibility because they have Quentin Williams, but they did have an abysmally weak run defense last year, and Stu may be a player of value. And again, it just depends on how the Jets come off on the season because they have a tough start to their schedule.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see, nonetheless. All right, Mark. Anything else before I let you go?
Nope. I think we got some Dolphins fans on the back room, and it was a pleasure having a chance to talk to you. And I enjoy your show every day.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it, buddy.
Bye-bye.
All right. Anybody else? Anybody else want to get up here for the show? Otherwise, I'm gonna stop and go watch some NASCAR because there was no NASCAR yesterday because it got rained out. So they're racing right now in New Hampshire. Martin Truex is leading right now, 2.6 second lead over William Byron. And Tyler Reddick is in 3rd, but my boy Bubba's in 17th. He started 8th, though, so I don't know what happened, but something happened. Tyler Reddick started 6th, Bubba started 8th. Tyler Reddick's in 3rd, Bubba's in 17th. Something happened, my boy Bubba. But I'm going to go watch the race. That's what I'm going to do. Anybody else want to get up here, talk some Dolphins before we get out of here, man? Come on. I got a little bit more time. Who wants to come up here and talk some Dolphins? I'll let you all get up here. I'll give you all another couple minutes to get up here. Guys, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Over 70 of y'all watching, only 53 likes. If you like today's show, donate to the channel. Help the channel grow. Can't grow without your help. And ultimately, want to hear what you guys have to say about everything that went down this weekend. Pete with his $5 donation says, keep it up. Thank you, Pete. I appreciate the $5 donation. It helps. It goes a long way. If you guys want to donate on Cash App or PayPal, you guys can do that too. That's always a good thing. Thank you, Pete, for the donation. Keep it up. It's triple right now today. Money making Mondays. Okay. I'm not mad at that. What else? Come on, guys. Who wants to get up here and debate me? Get up here. Tomorrow's going to be Hot Take Tuesday. It'll be a good show. Got a couple things in the woodwork. We'll see what happens. Yeah, that's what I plan on doing. We're going to see what happens. Pete, get up here if you can. I'm going to get off here in a couple minutes if nobody's going to get up, which is fine. Like I said, I'll go watch the race and relax for the rest of the day. Although I do got other stuff to do. It should be good. All right. William Perry. William mother-loving Perry in this beat. What's up, my guy?
What's up, Steven?
What's up, Will? What's up, Mike Trey?
You know it. I'm just chilling. I'm at work right this second. There was a question. I watched the Fence Tailgate with El Capitan last night, and there was a question that was polled out. It's like, yeah, what quarterback in the AFC has the most questions going on and going into the season? And and El Capitan hit on this point that, yeah, we're Dolphins fans, so obviously we're going to, for the majority, is going to be saying Tua. But I'm a football fan, and my biggest question marks would be around Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers is going in his first year with the Jets, i.e., he still gets Hackett back from the 2 MVP seasons, but he has the same problem at the Jets that he had at Green Bay last year was his young receiving core. You know what I mean?
I think that's fair. I think that's really fair.
And I think I'm interested. I mean, I love Aaron Rodgers, but I think that's.
Well, you're a Mississippi man. You're supposed to.
I'm from Alabama, Buster.
Or Alabama.
You better. Oh my God! I know you didn't. Oh, I don't used to say Mississippi.
Mississippi.
The meth capital of the world, brother. What is talking about?
Hey, don't talk about my wife's state like that. Don't you go there, William.
I did Brett Favre's house over here too. So, but that seems to be the biggest question mark. I'm excited for the year 2 leap of Tua. We already know what he can do with inside this offense, and even some of the players didn't even know the whole playbook. So we're in year 2. That's going to look great, I think. Everybody keeps saying, well, he's injury prone. I don't think if you actually look at the injuries that he's like injury prone, like maybe accident prone.
Well, let me go down the AFC real quick and just briefly talk about each teams and their quarterbacks, right? So Buffalo's got Josh Allen. There's no real question mark there. I mean, there is a question of, is that team on the decline or is it reinventing itself with some of the things there? I'll say that, for me, I personally see Buffalo on the decline. It's not that I think Josh Allen is getting worse or better. I just think we're going to see Josh Allen for what he truly is, my personal opinion. Dolphins, I think Tua, it's not a question of playing ability. It's a question of health. Can he stay healthy, right? So he's probably top 2 or 3 question marks in the AFC going.
Well, let me give you my take on Josh Allen. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
My bad. I'm in Spanish Fort, so it's a nightmare out here. Now with Josh Allen, I like Josh Allen the player, but if you look, Buffalo's definitely going to go in decline. I mean, they might. They're defensively, they're going to go in a decline, but Josh Allen has a Josh Allen problem. Is that I think he's more run first quarterback than anybody, and he's going to end up getting himself hurt. He's going to end up getting himself hurt if he continues playing football like he has. You saw him, Buffalo going decline last year after they lost the coach for the Giants. What's his name?
Brian Daboll.
Brian Daboll. So you saw a little bit of a decline.
Look, in the last 3 years, they lost Brian Daboll and Leslie Frazier, right? And now Stephon Diggs is upset or allegedly upset. And we can say what we want, but we see that there's some turmoil going on in that locker room there. So, them playing in a harder AFC is not going to make that any easier for them, right? So
no.
It'll be interesting to see what they go on. All right, let me finish going on here. So Patriots, Mac Jones. We know what Mac Jones is, a whack Jones.
I don't think we do. I
think he's a bum. I'll be honest with you. I don't see any future for New England right now. I just don't. The only future New England has, a remote chance, is to them go get Caleb Williams next year in the draft. That's it.
I don't know. I think
that happens, because then it'll be scary.
Just knowing the Mac Jones from Alabama and coming into the pros in his first year. I mean, yeah, I don't think he's as good as Tua, but I also don't think he's as bad as any of the. I mean, he's better than Kirk Cousins at some point. You know what I mean? And last year was just like a scheme thing. Scheme was the most important thing, and a bunch of bad sightings at a wide receiver quarter that has no players on it. That's give him some weapons, and that's why I was surprised D-Hop didn't go there.
Well, I am too, right? And so I think players don't want to play with Mac. I think that New England is kind of in a catch-22. If I'm honest, I think that they can't fire Belichick, nor should they, maybe. But we know that Belichick hasn't been great the last couple of years since Brady's been gone. So what do they have? Like, your number one wide receiver is Devontae Parker. Your best two weapons are Devontae Parker and Gesicki.
I thought that was kind of a wild move to pay that salary for Devontae Parker.
100%. So I don't have faith in that.
I don't know. I got a big question. I got a question mark over Mac. I don't think he's bad.
Well, I mean, that's fine. That's your opinion. My opinion is they scare me not one iota at all.
Their defense scares me.
It doesn't. Not for me.
It doesn't. I don't know.
Not for me.
Belichick always schemes well.
First time we play them, it's going to be 4.5, 5.5 point spread. The second time we play them, it'll be over 7, guaranteed.
Gotcha.
Guaranteed.
Gotcha. Okay, next one.
Well, the Jets, right? I agree with every single thing you said on the Jets. We don't know what Aaron Rodgers we're going to get. We don't know how well they're going to gel together. We don't know, what the mental game is for Aaron. And I would agree with you. He's probably the biggest question mark heading into the season. And it's more of what Aaron Rodgers are we going to get? Are we going to get the Aaron Rodgers that was 95% ready to retire coming out of darkness? Or are we going to get the Aaron Rodgers from last year who was kind of injured and not playing at 100% and was disgruntled? Or are we going to get the Aaron Rodgers from 2 years ago that was an MVP in the NFL and obviously elevates this team to go along with the defensive weapons that they have, and now all of a sudden they're a 12 to 14 win team? And there's some nervousness there. Like they can be really, they have the opportunity to be really good, and I get that. You there?
I could get down with a what? Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, my bad. You there?
Yep, I'm here.
My bad. I pressed the thing on the side of my earbud. I could get down. What week do we play the Jets? What's the 2 dates on them?
I'm not sure. I know. I don't have the schedule right in front of me. I just literally changed the screen because I'm trying to look up everything else.
All good. I would be down. Like I'd be excited for a Jets Dolphins like Monday night football game. That would be a big game.
100%. I don't know if it'll be Monday night, but I could 100% see in that second Jets game getting flexed into
Me
prime
too.
time.
Yeah. I'm super excited for for game 1 this year for us because
against them,
against Chargers.
Oh, okay. Week 1. Hold on. Let me get to the rest of these. You brought up something. Let me finish the rest, right?
My fault.
Yep. So
my ADHD.
Bengals, Joe Burrow, don't have any question marks about him.
No.
Lamar Jackson, not
question
real.
Marks.
No real question marks with him. We know what we get. It's the most thing is going to be, can he stay healthy? What is Odell Beckham like with that team? It'll be interesting.
Pocket presence is going to be my question mark around Lamar Jackson. Is he going to be better in the pocket? That's because he's going to have to be able to figure it out, especially with these secondaries.
Pittsburgh Steelers, they got the, University of Pittsburgh alumni there playing at quarterback, and Kenny Pickett. Is he good enough? Is he going to make that next step? What do the Steelers do if Kenny Pickett's not the guy? So there is question marks in Pittsburgh. There's one that I would probably say there's a question mark.
I don't think he did terrible for year 1. Coming in from it.
I don't either, but you got to remember the bar is a little bit different in Pittsburgh. You're talking about a team that every year in, year out, 90% of the time makes the playoffs. They haven't had a losing season since they haven't had a losing season while Tomlin's been their head coach.
Exactly.
Which is crazy to think of. So
they got good weapons over there. Najee Harris.
Yep. So it'll be interesting. Cleveland going with Deshaun Watson. It's Cleveland.
It's Cleveland. But it's also Deshaun Watson. If he gets back into football form, I don't even know who he's throwing to besides Amari Cooper. Did they draft any wide receivers?
None that I can think off the top of my head that rings a bell for me. But
they got weapons over there. Chubb, Amari Cooper.
Kareem Hunt is currently there.
I would rather have Kareem Hunt than Leonard Fournette. if
by
we
the
were
way,
going to get it back.
there are some Dolphins fans that would agree with that statement. I personally don't want to give up anything for him, so give me Leonard Fournette.
They're not
AFC
on a contract.
AFC South, Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence.
He's on
they're
the up.
winning.
He's on the incline,
He's
bro.
on the up.
He's going up.
He's one of the most exciting quarterbacks to watch in football right now.
To throw 2 or 3 interceptions in a playoff game and then come back and win it the way he did, that's
it's impressive. And to be perfectly honest, I'm excited what Doug Peterson's done there in North Florida with him.
Calvin Ridley returns.
Yep, Calvin Ridley returns. Christian Kirk is there, and he's living up to
Zay
his
Jones won me my fantasy league last year.
Well, they're a fun team to watch in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And then the 3 teams kind of go hand in hand. Tennessee, obviously getting DeAndre Hopkins is interesting.
I don't see how that's an upside, though.
I don't see. Well, so here's my theory. Number 1, D-Hop picked the team that was giving him the biggest contract, personal opinion. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's personal opinion. I think it is. Mm-hmm. And I think the other thing to it is I think they are come week 8, week 9, whenever the trade deadline is. I know he just signed there this weekend in July, but come October or November, whenever that trade deadline is, he might be on a different team. I could 100% see Tennessee trading away Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins at the trade deadline and trying to get everything they can for them to hit the restart button on their franchise.
Because their window's kind of closed as far as.
And to be perfectly honest with you, it doesn't make sense that they did it, because with the Colts and the Texans getting Richardson and C.J. Stroud, and with Trevor Lawrence being in Jacksonville, Tennessee has no future at quarterback right now. So it would make sense.
I mean, is there any belief on Malik Willis or Will Levis?
Nope. Will Levis maybe, but Malik Willis, no. I've heard they don't like him. My personal opinion is they should tank for Caleb Williams. And
who's the other quarterback that everybody's been talking about?
I don't know,
Caleb Williams,
but I know there's 2 or 3 other quarterbacks in college that people are saying are going to be better than any of the quarterbacks that came out this year. So I don't know what Tennessee's doing. I think it's stupid of them to make the move that they made with D-Hop. With the only thing that makes sense to me is that they're going to trade him at the trade deadline to try to get assets for him, which
that does make sense.
That does make sense. You take the you don't care about the money because you're not going to be good for the next 2 years, and you get assets for him to help improve your team. If you can get an extra first round pick, so essentially you paid $16-20 million to get another first round pick.
I'm interested to see what the scheme's going to look like after that, because they're so run heavy at Tennessee with Henry. They're not really pass heavy, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's this year they blow it up. I like Vrabes as a coach.
Well, Vrabel will be interesting to see what happens there. All right, AFC West real quick, just to kind of go down into the scheme of things there. Just so y'all know, my boy Bubba Wallace is in 10th place now. Let's go, Bubba. Come on, Bubba. All right. You got the Kansas City Chiefs. No, nothing to talk about there. Justin Herbert. Look, they were 10-7 last year. I honestly think they're a better team than they were the year before. And
I didn't understand them taking a wide receiver unless they're going to trade away Allen, or whatever his name is, in the middle of the year as well. You know what I mean?
Look, I'll say this. I think that the Chargers, there's some question marks there, but not from a quarterback standpoint. For your question, what quarterbacks have the most question mark? The Raiders have Jimmy Garoppolo. They know what they got in him. There's no real question mark there. And then the Broncos have Russell Wilson. So
Yeah, that's a big question mark right there.
So the three biggest question marks probably are Kenny Pickett, Aaron Rodgers, Tua because of his injury, and then honorary members are probably what did the Titans do with Tannehill, Will Levi, and Malik Willis, Levis, and what do the Patriots do with Wack Jones if he has another bad year? So, I mean, I would agree. I think Aaron Rodgers has the most question marks going into the season, but not because we question Aaron Rodgers. It's the unknown of what Aaron Rodgers we're going to get.
Exactly. But I'm interested to see. I hope he does well. I hope that our Jets game, one of the two, becomes a primetime game.
Well, the one is Black Friday, MetLife Takeover, so that's not getting flexed.
Oh yeah.
So it's Black Friday. It's the only game on that day. It's Friday, 3:00. I looked at train tickets from Baltimore to New York, $15.
How much is that? There you go. You gonna be there?
So I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go just because I can leave here at like 6 a.m. in the morning, get up there by like 9:30, and then I'll just have to like figure out. I got a buddy who's thinking about spending the night there, so I think I might just go to his hotel in the Meadowlands and just chill there till the game starts, and then go
crash out,
and then I can get
train ride back.
I can get an 8 or 9 p.m. train ride back to Baltimore and be back home by like midnight. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go to the game. It's the day after Thanksgiving. Why not? You know, I can make it a cheap trip.
I'm excited to see what's going to happen this year. This is the air feels different around us. You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about this team, barring if anything happens to it, which I don't think anything's going to happen to him this year. I think it's going to happen for a full season. I think we go to the playoffs and he balls out like he has last year.
I would agree with you. All right, man. I'm going to let you go, William. I appreciate it, brother. I miss you, man. Be good. Don't do nothing.
Hey, real quick. You need to get up with me about. You need to get up with me about the the stand up. Yeah, because I changed my dates on my other things. So October 14th is good for you.
All right, I'm going to let you go, man. I appreciate it, William.
All right, brother. Later.
All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. We went up till 1. We did a little over 2.5 hours. Thank you for hanging out with me today. It was a lot of fun. You guys are the best fans in the world. If you guys need anything, you guys can hit me up at Stephen D. SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. Tomorrow's Hot Take Tuesday. Got some things in the fire in the fire there. We'll see what happens. Who's going to be my special guest tomorrow? I should have a special guest with me on tomorrow, so it'll be a lot of fun. I love you guys. You guys are the best fans in the world. If you guys need anything, you guys know where to find me. Hope you all enjoyed the show today. Hit the like button. Share the link. Let people know that we're here. Donate to the channel. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.
A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Fence for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. To a time. Time to grind, time to shine.